The road to Redbull Wololo Legacy is here. Week number 3, the quarterfinals. We're going to have some banging sets for you guys. 4 sets we're covering today. MarineLord versus 3DB, DeMusliM versus the Mista, Beastyqt versus Kasva, and Hut versus Puppypaw. So I'm going to leave timestamps in the video description so that if you want to skip ahead to a set that you particularly want to watch, you can do so. We're going to start off with MarineLord versus 3DB. The map is 4 lakes. We've got in the southwest corner of the map, MarineLord playing in blue as the French. In the northeast corner of the map, we've got 3DB playing in red as the French as well. So a French mirror match on 4 lakes. It should be an interesting one. MarineLord, as we all know, French is probably seems to be one of his most competent civilizations. I mean, these guys can play any civilization they want, but it just seems like MarineLord has a special thing with the French. So 3DB is going to have his work cut out for him, but 3DB is a special player. He's got very different kind of strategies. He's not sort of the typical meta player, if you will, and we shall see if he has something in his locker, something up his sleeve to be able to get past MarineLord today. Don't forget, MarineLord is the Golden League champion, so it's not going to be easy to get through, but 3DB will want to do that in order to progress to the semi-finals. Now this map, 4 lakes, is a beautiful map. I'm really starting to warm up to it. As you can see, as by the name, it's got 4 lakes on it. Its origins, I believe, are in Age of Empires 2, where it made its debut as a map, and now it's progressing with Age of Empires 4, and it's a very, very fun map. As you can see, 4 lakes there, and the fishing eco is super strong. It's pretty standardized now that you have to go for a dock super early on your home pond, I guess, in a way. And of course, there's different strategies that your opponent might do. Might try to dock your pond and kill all your fishing ships. Might look to get to the two neutral ponds as well. And what we've noticed so far on analyzing the map is that on the edges near the western and the eastern ponds, there's often quite a lot of resources. As you can see here, gold, berries, deer. There's a relic there even. On the west side, you've got 2 gold veins and a stone as well, and a relic and deer. There's lots to be had here in terms of resources, and so it's quite an important point to have, quite an important part of the map to secure. As you can see, plenty of villages on wood to be able to afford those fishing ships, and this is often that kind of happens quite often. Scouts will be looking to harass the dock that's there. 2 scouts there for MarineLord, typical sort of French opening with 2 scouts. 3DB looking to push that away with 2 scouts of his own, but does take a bad hit here with the 2 scouts first engagement. So it looks like with the micro wise, MarineLord should be able to take that fight. Yeah, the MarineLord is definitely on point with his micro here, and 3DB can't take that fight now. This is an issue. He's having his dock pressured, and he may need to invest in a barracks in the Dark Age to push this off, because the food income is going to be very important to have. He can't really do without that. He's going to delay things as long as he can, I guess. But you know, obviously nowhere near that feudal age uptime for either player. Having to invest a lot into the wood economy for the fishing ships. So naturally, you will be getting up to the feudal age later. Oh, actually, 3DB managed to do that. Micro-wise was fantastic there for 3DB. He actually pulled that back and managed to take the scout from MarineLord. Really unexpected from what was starting off as a really bad first initial engagement. But now 3DB has the advantage on that front, and this actually leaves MarineLord pretty exposed with his dock. So I suspect B's scout is going to go straight forward maybe and look to harass MarineLord's dock, and that could become a problem. And will force maybe MarineLord into a barracks to defend that dock if the scout does come across. We shall see if that's what he opts to do. Looking to get up to the next stage now with School of Cavalry. Okay, scouts are in for the chase. It looks like 3DB is just quite content on scouting the map instead, though. Not necessarily a bad option there. It's very important to get that map intel. He sees a decent part of the map, but doesn't even actually see where his opponent is just yet. So lots of scouting to be done for 3DB. MarineLord's scouting patterns is a whole lot better though. It's got much more of the map coverage, and he does also go up with the School of Cavalry for the next stage. Alright, 8 fishing ships out for 3DB, 7 for MarineLord, so MarineLord lagging a little bit behind on that front. Alright, so I've got some great sets coming up. Looking forward to casting them all for you today. The quarterfinals. I will be looking to cast the semi-finals and the finals as well. So it should be a fun week this week. We had some really good games last week with Puppypaw winning the grand final there. I do have that casted as well on the channel if you're interested. But we're going to be focusing on the players today. The French Mirror, 3DB getting up to the feudal age, MarineLord halfway there. 3DB having a very fast uptime, has to be said. Be interesting to see. Maybe he didn't go for wheelbarrow. Maybe that MarineLord did. Let's just take a look at that because we see actually. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Okay, well 3DB is actually getting wheelbarrow now, and MarineLord doesn't even have a mill, so he can't have got wheelbarrow. It's a bit surprising it was up a bit later than we would expect, at least comparatively to 3DB. And we're probably going to be seeing some units on the field for 3DB having got to that fast uptime. You can see the barracks is going down for MarineLord, expecting maybe some knights to be on the way, which is coming. There's a knight on the way for 3DB. That barracks is going to be quite useful for the spears to protect that gold vein. It's pretty exposed, as you guys know, 4 lakes. The gold is, it's a situation we found in the community maps that the gold is generally quite exposed, and that makes for some really good, fun, aggressive games at times. As you can see, this gold is pretty far forward, and then the other golds here on the left side, nowhere near the main base. And this scout has been chasing for a very long time. Villager going out to the dock here. As you can see, 3DB looking to take care of this dock for MarineLord. That would be huge if you can get the dock up. There is a scout on the field, and spearmen coming out for MarineLord. Don't forget that 3DB does have some knights, so he'll need to choose whether he decides to defend his base with the knights or go forward. He's going to use a spearman instead. Or whether he brings the knight to kill the villager that's slowly bringing the dock up. He sends a spearman in any case. That's actually a really nice play because the scout won't be able to... Oh well, I mean, depends really if the spearman starts to take the scout. But to go for the villager to deny that, definitely the right call. The dock won't go up. That was a doubt dock, and that's pretty rough for 3DB actually. He invested a lot in that. He sent a whole villager that whole way through without idle time and not able to get the dock up. But having said that, 3DB causing a lot of idle time. Getting a villager pick here as well on the gold vein, that's an issue for MarineLord. He's not going to be able to produce too many knights without having access to gold, but 3DB is going to be backing off with that knight now, and spearman coming out again for MarineLord. Okay, looks like 3DB is going for the neutral dock here on the right side as well. He's got the foundation place, but villager not going forward. Knight versus knight action here. And 3DB could actually 2v1 this knight. He does look to pull that knight towards there now, and knights are taking... Oh, that's actually very costly for 3DB. Loses a knight to the spearman there. A little bit of mismicro on his position, but he's going to get the dock up in the right side, so that's going to definitely help his economy. And I suspect maybe MarineLord might look to get this west side secure. We'll certainly have to for that gold vein, because obviously once this runs out, he'll need to move and expand. Okay, quite a few villagers here having to run around, getting sniped by the knight, but there is a knight here in defense for 3DB. There will be one villager going down for 3DB on the gold vein, so MarineLord gets one back, but this knight will have to make it out there alive, and he does. He'll be able to run away and get some health still on the cards. He just needs chivalry. Chivalry will heal these very nicely, but I believe now with the increased cost of chivalry, not on this particular patch, I don't believe, because a new patch hasn't come out yet, I don't believe, where chivalry's cost is going to be increased, and so to justify getting chivalry, you're going to need more knights on the field to really do that. So people will be delaying chivalry a little bit, and I feel like it's a welcome change to the game because, of course, French have a really strong feudal age. They did need something against that, and so having the increased cost of chivalry is certainly a nice approach to do so. But 3DB not giving up on this dock position here. He's looking to get that dock. MarineLord looking to do the same, but the villagers are being lost here. So neither player are able to dock each other's ponds as well as they would like to. And we see walls going up for 3DB, looking to deny a enemy dock going up. He loses one knight, but 3 knights are there still, looking to take a big fight here. The charge tech gets off, and MarineLord going to have to back off with that knight now, that's for sure. Both players very intent on getting each other's ponds docked. And 3DB now looking to wall up this side. It's a nice approach to defend that position. And a second town centre there as well. So 2 town centres for B. I really like this position because he's actually secured his primary dock and fishing economy, which is super important. You know, not having a farm transition, if you lose the dock, then all of a sudden you have no food income. And having the walling up here on the side and the town centre as well for the vision and also protection and the gold. This is a very nice expansion for the 3DB, it has to be said. The hardened spearmen are going to be taken down by at least one of them. Should be. Well, actually gets away with it. He gets away with it with the town centre, it seems. Villagers on the chase probably would want to go back to the gold, so I'm not sure these villagers want to be taking that fight, but they had enough of those spearmen poking and prodding them. That's for sure. Looks like the second town centre looking to come out for MarineLord as well, getting the stone involved in that. Almost 300 now, and we'll be moving off to get that second town centre, I suspect. We've got plenty of wood, 800 wood, floating quite a lot. And we see that dock is up and running now for 3DB, so 3DB could actually do a lot of damage here. Don't forget he's got the dock on the right side as well, so he's steadily getting fishing economy from both ponds, and if he can take out MarineLord's fishing economy, that'd be absolutely huge, because MarineLord looking to get a second town center, well, he needs to fund it with villages, with food, and he won't be able to do that without food economy. He's got no farming, he's got a couple of, he's got quite a few sheep, to be fair, that will tide him over. He's got some wood in the bank, but probably not enough to make a solid transition to farming economy. A lot of fishing ships here from MarineLord, all invested in one pond as well, so he's not moved out to the next pond. That could become an issue, because even if 3DB was to lose his primary dock, he won't. I'm almost sure of that. Oh, actually, that's a bit sneaky. B? He's going to notice that eventually, I suspect. But even if he did lose his primary dock, well, he's got this dock on the right side, 2 docks on the right side. So he's going to be having a lot of food economy there as well. And Knights and Archers for 3DB, Knights and Spearmen for MarineLord. MarineLord's villager, I think was going to be placing a dock here, but just can't get through because of the wooden walls. I'll pass. Oh my god, it actually gets through. B! What is going on? He's not noticed. That's really weird. Anyway, it is what it is. Okay, a bit of a fight here on the right side. 3DB looking to secure and save his docks here on the right side, which would be important for his food economy, but not as important as MarineLord's dock here being lost here. Hulks are coming out for the French in the food lane. 3DB not really paying attention. He's actually going to go for the fishing ships instead, I believe, looking to do as much damage as he can. And that's not a bad shout, actually. Each fishing ship taken out is a huge amount of investment that MarineLord has lost. And he needs to take out the fishing ships, though. He's taking, like, them out in a weird way. Yep, kill them off, and it's looking good here for MarineLord. Sorry, for B, that's for sure. MarineLord under pressure there. Going to be losing valuable food income. And it's like B's docking the left pond as well. That's going to be huge for his economy. And especially with the town centers being up earlier for B. B's macro seems to be so on point here. 76 economy, 63 for MarineLord. MarineLord looking to transition into stables, doubling down on the night production. But with what food? That is the question. This Hulk is still alive, doing a lot of damage. It's going to be focusing. It's going to be down soon. The Hulk for MarineLord will be taking it out with the next hit, and there it goes. But very, very solid start for 3DB. I'm very impressed. MarineLord loves his French, but 3DB putting on an exhibition here. He's showing it how he can play the French just as well, if not better, than MarineLord on this particular map. But MarineLord, plenty of time for him to come back into the game. 13 minutes on the clock. Bit of an odd one that this villager is going for the berries, though not the shorefish. Might just be an automated thing. Now, slowly looking to be less spearmen on the field, and that's quite a nice way for MarineLord to push back. We saw him go for double stables and extra, going to double down on the knights, and he can feel safe doing that because, of course, with the combination of knights and archers on the field for 3DB, the knights, I mean, the archers will tickle the knights, so going into spearmen is a bit of an issue if it can be micro down well by the archers, but going full knights for MarineLord means he can counter the archers, but also if he has better numbers of knights, he'll be able to take a good fight against 3DB's knights. So doubling up on the knight production here, doubling down, getting those knight numbers out for MarineLord could be a way back into the game. Royal Institute going down for 3DB, looking to be aggressive here, get those upgrades in nice and early, and he is well on the way to the Castle Age. Can't be said the same for MarineLord though. MarineLord's struggling a little bit on the food count because of losing so many fishing ships, I suspect. Just doesn't have a strong food economy that 3DB does, and he's going to get a Hulk ship here as well. MarineLord looking to expand on the West Lake, but 3DB quick to note that, and he's actually going to be getting a Hulk there on the field. Looks like a Hulk coming out from MarineLord as well, so 3DB will want to do some damage. Not a second Hulk coming out for 3DB though. That has to be noted, but there's a lot of fighting here. Lots of knights there for MarineLord, taking a really good fight here. This is what we said as we see MarineLord doubling down on the knight production. The archers aren't going to be doing anything really, and so it's knight versus knight effectively, and MarineLord just has more. 3DB gets to the castle age. He's going to take in this good fight though. Not too bad underneath the town centre. MarineLord didn't necessarily have as much numbers as I thought he did, and he has to back off. He's got some outposts though, denying some map control, looking to harass the villages on the gold here, but there is a back gold here on this town centre, getting a mining cap for increased efficiency. Now he's into the castle age. This is a huge problem for MarineLord because it's not as if 3DB went up with a guild hall just looking for resources. He's actually going to have a tech advantage, not only by castle age, but actually with the Royal Institute, with the royal bloodlines, and maybe even canted saddles if he decides to do that. All those, has he already got that? I don't know, it's not really in the, that's a bit weird. is not actually in the selection, so he might have already got that. Okay, 3DB looking to take down the outposts that have been put up, and those will go down even with Arislis. There's plenty of knights here that have been upgraded now to veteran royal knights. Okay, looking good, and we see chivalry nicely in action here. For 3DB, it's almost as if MarineLord doesn't have chivalry, I think. It's almost like he doesn't have chivalry, which is a bit of a problem. He will be winning the water here on the west side of the map, though. That's pretty important for MarineLord. That will secure his food economy, and he's still got this eco buzzing here on the south initial dot. But damage has been done, I suspect, and B has had lots of fishing economy for a lot longer. A lot of raiding here happening here. MarineLord looking to get some villager picks. Does get a lot of villagers down on this mining camp. We'll be diving the town centre somewhat with the Royal Knights. Won't be able to take any good fights with the veteran Royal Knights though. And yeah, these will be chased down from MarineLord, but doing good damage here with the mobility. There's sort of a big raid here on the west side of gold. Lots of knights, they're taking a lot of gold villages, but don't forget B did have an advantage in economy. 96 still for B, 92 for MarineLord, so these raids doing great work. MarineLord is catching up on the village count. He's up to the Castle Age himself, I suspect, again with the Royal Institute, but we'll just double check on that because you never know. Could be going for something interesting with the Guild Hall perhaps. I don't quite see the landmark. We shall keep an eye out for it. Yep, there it is, the Royal Institute for MarineLord as well. Looking to get those upgrades, Royal Bloodlines. We'll want to, I was actually getting a military academy as well, wanting to really produce quickly. We won't want to take any good fights just yet. He won't be able to take a good fight because of just the sheer tech upgrades that 3DB has. The MarineLord is going to look to be on the defensive for a little while, as you can see, bringing his army back home. He does have the veteran Royal Knights now, though, and a couple of spearmen there as well. So this is actually going to be a decent fight for MarineLord, even though Royal Bloodlines will be in for 3DB. It just doesn't have the numbers there, can't take that fight, has to retreat. And MarineLord will be recovering here quite nicely. Mass number of villagers here going on the west side. Looks like it's going to be going for the gold vein. We'll need to protect those villagers, a lot of them in the open field. 3DB backing off now. MarineLord's military numbers is really healthy here, considering 3DB has a lot of food in the bag, but not so much gold. The gold raiding here has hurt him a little bit. The transition to gold hasn't been as smooth as he would like to be able to maintain knight production, but he does have another group of veteran Royal Knights who's sweeping around, looking to sort that wood line. There's loads of villagers here ripe for the taking, though, for 3DB if he can focus on that. There's a big fight here. MarineLord will be losing that, though, I suspect, with the numbers here for 3DB. And don't forget, he's got 2 crossbowmen there to add into the mix. So crossbowman knight looking to be the army of choice for 3DB, and it's been taking a lot of villages out. And MarineLord looking to be... he's looking in trouble. He's looking in trouble. 105 economy for 3DB, 95 for MarineLord. Looking desperately to get some food economy with the mill, but these villages are all going to be going down. This could be really rough for MarineLord. He's not been able to react too well to this. He's losing villagers left, right and centre. They're running away, but he needs his army there, and he needs it now. But he lost his army there on the front, and I think this is going to be a really big problem for MarineLord. He's losing the water here on the west side as well. Things just really heated up here for 3DB. He's looking to be aggressive here. 6 military on the field for MarineLord, 39 for 3DB. Can't help but think this is going to be the end, or at least the beginning of the end for MarineLord in this first game of the best of 3 in this quarterfinal set. 3DB looking just to harass and take down the outposts, the defensive, static defenses for MarineLord. Looking to secure his position here on the left side with a keep. And that's not to be underestimated. The keep can do really good job in terms of... oh, he taps it out. We kind of expected it. He taps out. MarineLord calls it for the first game. 3DB takes the first game of the set, the best of 3. He's on his way to beating MarineLord. Has the advantage. Don't go anywhere, guys. Game number 2 coming right up. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 2 of this quarterfinal set for the road to Redbull Wololo Legacy. Week number 3. The match is between MarineLord and 3DB. 3DB winning the first game on 4 lakes has the advantage. If he wins this game, he goes through to the semi-finals, but MarineLord, I'm sure, will have something to say about that. We've got MarineLord playing on the northwest corner of the map in blue as the Holy Roman Empire, and in the southeast corner of the map in red, we've got 3DB playing as the Chinese. The map is all-time, 2 very popular civs on this particular map. I mean, MarineLord needs to get a win here, because if he doesn't, he will be knocked out. And 3DB looking to pile on the pressure. If he gets a win here, he'll be very happy to get to the semi-finals for this particular tournament weekend. Holy Roman Empire, a very strong civilization. Every time I see Holy Roman Empire, I'm just always in awe of the bonuses that they get economy-wise. You know, the prelate enhancing the villages by 40% gathering speed is pretty impressive. But one thing to note is the Chinese. They do have the Imperial Official, which is a very nice unit. It will be boosting the amount of resources being bought and collected by the actual villagers themselves. So whilst we have the Holy Roman Empire gathering faster, the Chinese will be gathering more, and that in itself is kind of faster as well. But something to be noted is that on a map like Altai, where you only really have 1 or 2 secure gold veins, gold can be an issue, and so the Chinese actually effectively having more of a resource, if it's supervised, can be pretty powerful comparatively to the Holy Roman Empire, which has the same static number of resources, but just get through them quicker or collect them quicker. Both have their advantages, as you can imagine. We shall see how these players are able to utilize these bonuses for each respective civilization. So I hope you guys are enjoying the casted game so far. I'm doing a lot of the Road to Redbull Wololo Legacy coverage. I'd love to be able to cover the main event as well. But I'm still developing as a caster, so if you guys have any feedback, tips, do drop it in the comment section below. I think going forward I'm going to try and relax into my casting a little bit. It's quite tricky to cast on your own, so it would be lovely to have a co-caster, but, you know, for me, I've got to aim big, got to dream big. I'd love to become a professional esports caster. I'm sharing that with you guys, I'm putting it out there. That's what I would love to achieve. But whether I can do it or not, I don't know. I think generally people, I guess in my position, we just need to keep developing, keep improving. Maybe one day an esports company or an esports organization, especially with Age of Empires 4, might come knocking. You never know. We shall see. Well, maybe I should approach them actually. Let's see. We'll see. There aren't that many out there. Obviously, you have, you know, the well-known ones like egctv, but maybe I don't know. Maybe starting off with something a bit smaller if they're interested. We shall see. But anyway, I'm having loads of fun casting games. That is the main thing, because doing something we enjoy. We see villagers going forward for 3DB. Holy smokes, he's going for a Barbican drop, isn't he? This guy, we've seen him do it before, we've seen him do it time and time again, and it's super aggressive. And well, why not? Because the thing about the Holy Roman Empire is this is not a civilization you want to let them boom. Like, look at this Ark and Chapel position here right now. It's absolutely nuts. He's going to be getting the sheep involved, the wood line involved if he goes up to that wood line, which he will be. And the gold villagers, the deer, the berries, all of this is under the influence in some way of the Ark and Chapel. So this is not something that Beat can just sit back and relax. And so Barbican Rush here is probably a good shout, a good position to put some pressure on. He's going to go forward with 7 villagers. The Chinese villagers build faster as well, going to deny this gold. And this is actually huge, guys, because what this does, it creates a huge problem for MarineLord. Because where is MarineLord going to get his gold? That's a good question, because his secondary gold is there on the front as well. He's going to send his villagers. I'm not sure what they're going to be planning to do, looking to deny, but an outpost going up for a 3DB will be huge here. There are 2 scouts for B as well. That it just feels really rough here. It just doesn't feel like MarineLord can do anything about this. He almost completes the outpost. This is super interesting, guys. We should learn from this, because what he's done is almost built the outpost, but he's not invested the 100 wood. Like, if he deletes this, he gets the 100 wood back. Instead, he's focusing on building the Barbican, because that's what he wants to build, really. But if he had to, he could retreat to that outpost, build it, if he really had to. And so that's fantastic. This Ark and Chapel is going to be under pressure very quickly. And oh my god, okay, the Barbican goes up. And this is such a good spot for 3DB. He's going to be collecting wood on the front line as well, under the protection of the Barbican and the sun. And okay, whilst he might not be killing any villagers with this, the amount of map control this gives is absolutely huge. Now, MarineLord needs to find a solution to this issue, because both his goals are forward. He needs to find a safe gold. And I don't know, guys, this is a fantastic play by 3DB, it has to be said. The map generation has lent itself to this. Not having a back gold is pretty important. And now it looks like 3DB is even going to be able to get the advantage with the scouts. Marine scouts are pretty low. Great micro by 3DB to bring that scout back. B, he senses blood. He sees that he's on match point. If he wins this game, he's through the semi-finals, and 3DB definitely wants to be there. He's looking to get there, and maybe looking to send some villagers for some more outposts. He's got 200 wood in the bank. I wouldn't put it past him. He's also collecting stone, I believe. He's got 4 stone in the bank. Yeah, sending some villagers on stone. He's actually going to supervise. No, he's going to collect tax. Yeah, going to collect tax as well with the Imperial official, and now getting an outpost there. This is a big problem for Miller. He has to stop this. He cannot let this go up. If he gets this go up, then there's going to be big problems. There are quite a few villagers though there. I mean, I think he's going to get it up. 3DB is probably going to get this up. The villagers build faster. There are 2 scouts there looking to deny this, but I suspect this is going to go up, and this is a even bigger problem for 3DB here, because not only now is he lacking the gold income, the wood is going to be severely restricted, and it means that he can't expand on this right side. He's going to send some villagers there, but these are really unprotected. How does MarineLord... I feel like setting the villagers there, he felt like he had no option, but these villagers there are completely exposed. And there are 2 scouts there for now, but, I mean, how do you protect those villagers? He's going to have to build some outposts, invest in the wood, and he doesn't have the wood. That is the issue. Yeah, another outpost going up. There is an archer there, but I think 3DB is not going to mind that too much. Even if he loses a villager, it's definitely going to be worth it to get this outpost up. He's going to garrison the villagers, 5 villagers there. Now that wood line is totally denied. Now if you're a MarineLord, you're thinking, what the heck do I do now? I'm going to have to go up to here to this wood line. But there are some villagers on hand there that might even build an outpost. Meanwhile, back at home, 3DB's economy is completely untouched. No, 23 villagers for MarineLord, 25 for 3DB, and he is buzzing at the moment with the archer ranges being built forward. Going to send some archers there as well, and look to snipe some villagers. He's going straight for those villagers as well, not hanging about, not messing any time. Population cap for MarineLord needs houses. He can't afford a house at this stage. He literally cannot afford a house. And outpost going up for MarineLord. He won't be able to counter outpost this MarineLord because he doesn't have the wood. And MarineLord might be able to siege this down. He might be able to deny this, to be fair, but there is an archer there as well. So holy smokes, B is playing this absolutely fantastic. The villagers here on the gold mine are slowly going to be harassed. If that scout goes down, that's going to be a big problem for MarineLord, that is for sure. He's backing off. He hasn't lost it yet. And this is the key point. This is a key fight here. MarineLord's got 3 archers there. That's certainly going to help his cause. B is going to push back a little bit with the outpost. We'll get that up, and that'll be key because that's going to be a staging ground for him to push further forward. This is a fantastic display of sheer aggression for 3DB. He's playing this game absolutely fantastic, and he can't... I mean, against the Holy Roman Empire, this is something you kind of have to do at times. And it's going to take relatively even trades here. I mean, he's going to be happy to lose the archers if he does get the outpost up. He does get the outpost up. That's definitely worth it. Now, where does MarineLord go on from here? He needs to have a mass migration of villagers. He's not happy to give this game up just yet because, of course, this is a high-stakes game. Of course, MarineLord has already qualified for the main event of the Redbull Wololo Legacy, but there's a prize pool at stake here as well. A stable going down for 3DB, so transitioning it to horsemen to counter the archers that MarineLord have. This is an exhibition. This is a fantastic showcase of how to be super aggressive. Lots to learn from this gameplay, and fantastic from 3DB. MarineLord just stuck with the map generation, not really coming in his favor with the 2 golds further forward. So pretty rough for him because he could be going into man-at-arms and things like that, but he can't because of not having access to gold. And that is huge. Now there are archers here harassing those villagers. Things going from bad to worse for MarineLord. Not able to securely take wood. He's got 13 villagers of wood here on the right, on his left side. Looking to protect them with archers. Got a barracks down now, so he's getting the wood income he needs, but he's severely depleted of wood stores. And as you can see now, with arrow slits in these outposts as well, I mean, even if MarineLord does manage to recover, he's going to need to clear this up to have access to his gold. Because there's no gold on this left side. The gold is on the right side. How does he even access it? Because the outpost in his way. This is a struggle here. So MarineLord's going to have to focus on spearmen for now. Going to focus on food and wood units only. And 3DB can just really kind of build his economy back home. He's going to snipe those 2 villagers as well. With those archers going back home. Dead villagers there. Means that MarineLord's going to struggle here. And he calls it. He taps out 3DB with a fantastic display of aggression. He books his place into the semi-finals of week number 3 for the Road to Redbull Wololo Legacy. He's taken out a giant. 3DB has made a big statement here. We'll see who he plays up by watching the next set of the quarterfinals. Don't go anywhere, guys. Next quarterfinals coming right up. DeMusliM versus the Mista. Welcome. The second set for the quarterfinals between Mista and DeMusliM is here. The winner of whom will be facing up against 3DB, who got through playing against MarineLord. Now, the map is 4 lakes, starting off this best of 3. On the west side of the map, we've got Mista playing in blue as the Abbasid dynasty. In the southeast corner of the map, we've got DeMusliM playing in red as the Rus. Interesting matchups here. The Rus have a really nice bonus, actually. Their fishing ships don't need to come back to the dock to be able to drop off the food. So the food income could be super strong for DeMusliM, that is for sure. The Mista looking to secure his spot in the semi-finals if he can. He wants to secure the spot to the main event. It's all up for grabs. DeMusliM will want to do the same as well. So high stakes here. A special matchup between these 2 players. And I don't think we've seen these two players in this kind of level of competition since the N4C. Mista's been very busy with his in real life commitments, and hats off to him for coming back. We love to see his gameplay, so we're in for a treat here. DeMusliM, as you know, a fan favorite as well. He's very popular and doing very, very well on the Age of Empires 4 esports stage. And he's been getting hunting cabins. Looks like he's going to be getting some scouts on the field too so far. Looking to get that bounty for the Rus civilization. Getting a few sheep and a couple of wolves as well. Looking to bolster that economy. Talking about the bounty, if you're not aware, if you're new to Age of Empires 4, first of all, welcome. Hope you enjoyed the cast of games and the esports scene. But the Rus have a special bonus in terms of bounties, where for each kind of animal they kill, whether it be a wolf, a sheep, a boar, you name it, a deer, they get small amounts of gold bounty. Not only do they get the gold, but it all kind of adds up here, as you can see, and you can unlock tiers. So 250 bounty there just got unlocked for tier 2, which means that the villagers have a faster harvest rate, and the hunting cabins now generate gold faster. The map on 4 lakes, you typically go for the docks and the fishing economy. So we should see if both players do that. We see the dock going up for the Mista, already nice and fast. 4 fishing ships there. DeMusliM doing something a little bit curious though. He hasn't actually got his dock up yet, which is rather surprising. I think he's invested. The hunting camp is actually more expensive, to be fair, but it's not to worry, because once again, as wheelbarrow in, the Rus are known for their wood economy, that is for sure. Especially having wooden fortresses, which will both bolster the amount of wood that they collect, and also the fact that they can usually get double broadaxe pretty quickly in the feudal age. So I suspect DeMusliM will be looking to get that fast feudal age into a high wood income and then go for the fishing. I suspect, but can't be putting ideas. They have their own special way of playing the game, and we shall see what DeMusliM looks to do. He's actually running out of food on the town centre. This is quite rough. He's going to go for the Golden Gate, actually. Okay, pretty well timed then in the end. Going up with 5 villagers for that Golden Gate. Okay, but the food income looking pretty nice for the Mista, especially with having the fishing ships in. As we can see, DeMusliM actually has a high rate of collection. I suspect it's because the sheep drop-off is a bit quicker and there's not a huge amount of fishing ships there just yet. Although it takes a bit of time for the fishing economy to get rocking and rolling. But I'm sure once it does, it will really take off. House of Wisdom is up now for the Mista, looking to get to the next stage relatively... It's actually quite far behind. Quite far behind on the food. It does take quite a while, though, if you go for fishing economy, for that food income to come in. But once it does, once it gets rolling, it's super strong. Villagers going forward for DeMusliM. Oh my god, it's going to be Wooden Fortress Rush, isn't it? So we've seen this a couple of times now on Frisian Marshes. I'm a really big fan of this strategy. I love to see this strategy in the hands of 3DB as well. Going forward for the Wooden Fortress Rush. Actually, not. It's not. It's going for the boar. Okay, fair enough. It's still going for the boar. Maintaining a similar sort of build as he would on a normal open map. Rather than going for the fish, he's going for the boar. And overall, I mean, it'd be really interesting to have an experiment, because... I mean, although no, because the Rus have the fishing ship that don't need to drop off. So I was going to say that it would be interesting to have an experiment. What's faster collecting? Is it the boar or is it the fishing ships? Considering you've got quite a while for the fishing ships to travel to actually deposit the food on the dock. But obviously the Rus don't have to do that. As you can see, the Abbasid dynasty do. So I suspect the deep water fish for the Rus economy would still be the fastest possible. But maybe looking to develop a build for that. Map is due. The meta's still developing, and looks like DeMusliM we'll be getting the gold trickle as well from the hunting camp at 37 gold per minute. That's not to be snuffed out. The course of the game, that can really start to add up. DeMusliM gets to the feudal age, goes up for a stable, looking to get some early knives for protection, I suspect. And the Mist is going to have to do something about that. They're going to have to address the situation. And the way he addresses it is by walling up. That will offer him some protection for his economy. His gold is pretty exposed, so he'll have to be careful about that. And DeMusliM sees that. That's probably what he's going to be targeting. Oh, yep, Scout going to be harassing those villagers. Mista needs to address that before the early knights come on the field. There's actually more scouts coming along, 3 in total, looking to do some damage here. Stable going up, and as you see, there is an early knight queue there, an archery range going as well. So we see this kind of typical stable and triple archery range opening, I suspect, for DeMusliM, completely ignoring the waters. He's not really interested in that at this stage. He's got the wooden fortress, as you can see, which is very nice for the wood economy, where the lumber camps and town centres within the influence of the wooden fortress return 20% more wood, which is an incredible bonus, has to be said. Yeah, double arch range going down. So DeMusliM looking to play this with a very heavy fuel aggression. Be interested to see if Mista can hold this off. He will be getting... He's going up with the economic wing and looks to get fresh foodstuffs, which will decrease the villager cost by 50%. That food economy will certainly help him be able to produce army, which he will need to do very, very soon, because he's going to be under a lot of pressure from the Rus played by DeMusliM. Alright, feudal age is in for the Mista. And it's going for a double barracks opening, which will be interesting. That's a bit risky, I mean, because sure, the early knights will be on the field, but DeMusliM and the Rus often go for the archery ranges, and the archers will be able to snipe those spearmen pretty easily. Double barracks is a pretty heavy investment. Mista looking to get the north lake as well, so it just feels like Mista's going for a relatively greedy build here with the economy. He's going to be trying to snipe some army here with his spearmen. Has 4 in the way, but as you can see, the archers are on the field now, so I think Mista's going to have to transition to a stable. Is this a stable? Yep. Stable for some horsemen himself. And losing this dock would be pretty painful, because quite a few fishing ships with the wooden wood investment there that would be lost if the that dock goes down. He's not going to want to lose that, that's for sure. And I just wonder if Mista spots this. He doesn't see the proxy base, and that's part of the problem. He's not sure necessarily that's coming, but he sees the amount of military on the field now, so he's probably relatively sure that is going to be put under a lot of feudal aggression. So he does have that stable, producing some horsemen now. Looks like spearmen, horsemen is the army of composition choice for the Mista. He's going to lose that dock though. There's nothing he can do about that, I'm afraid. He's still producing fish ships. Oh, actually, it's a Dow. Looking to do some damage. Might be able to do some damage, but the dock will go down. That is for sure. Okay, no fishing economy for DeMusliM. Looking to pile on the pressure in the feudal age here with early aggression here, with early knights coming in, archers, a lot of military on the field, 12 military for the Mista, 17 for DeMusliM. It just feels like there's more there for DeMusliM. Spearmen mostly here for the Mista, easily counterable by the archers. Villager going out for the Mista, looking to redock there to make sure those fishing boats are still active. But now comes the assault here on the wood line. Archers are going to look to range the villagers on the wood line. That's actually a problem for the Mista. He's going to need to pull those villagers away. And looking pretty strong here for DeMusliM, has to be said. Feudal aggression on this map looking strong, because the problem for the Mista is he's going to be pushed off that gold unless he defends it very well. Does have a double stable now, and he'll need that enough gold to be able to go up to the next stage. And at this point, DeMusliM is in a nice position, because on a map like this where golds are exposed, he doesn't need to worry about it too much, because he will always have some gold coming in from the hunting cabin. Picks off 2 villagers on the wood line, and the Mista losing villagers here. Might lose another one as well. Yep, loses another one on the wood line. Horsemen and spearmen on the field there for the Mista, looking to deny this wooden fortress going up for DeMusliM. We will need to deny that, because if that goes up, then Mista's going to struggle for wood. That's his only main wood line. Moving out to the right side there, that's pretty exposed. There is a big fight here, but it just looks like there's too many archers on the field. Spearmen aren't going to be able to get close to the knights and the horsemen. I think this is looking bad for the Mista. He has to retreat, but the spearmen are all down now, and now that DeMusliM can really start to put pressure. 12 military on the field for the Mista, 27 for DeMusliM. DeMusliM putting up the feudal age pressure, not investing in the fishing economy, and because of that can really put in the resources into the army. Now with siege engineering, if that comes in the works for DeMusliM, it already is. He's starting to build the ram already, and DeMusliM is going to start putting the feudal age pressure here. Mista in a tough spot. He's going to need to mass up a lot of units to push this back. Castle age won't be on the... Well, he's got a lot of gold though, that's the thing. So this is an issue, because the Mista can't really afford to go up to the castle age. He just doesn't have the food, and he needs to produce military, but he's got a lot of villagers and gold, which aren't doing him any favours at this point. You probably need to get enough wood for a market and sell and buy food and wood to be able to get a feudal age army here, because that gold isn't doing nothing for him. Eco balance has been put completely out of whack for the Mista because of the feudal age aggression for DeMusliM. DeMusliM can look to take out their production buildings, and if he does that, that's going to be bad news for the Mista. Alright, good pressure here for DeMusliM. On the back of this, DeMusliM's got a buzzing economy. Yeah, he's got... No, he hasn't got double broad X just yet. Doesn't have the resources just yet, because he's just pumping it all into the army. A lot of early knights, a lot of archers here. Barracks going down as well for good measure. That barracks will be going down unless the Mista decides to repair it. Mista looking to recover here, getting a lot of horsemen on the field, sending some villagers out to the north to the wood line there. Okay, Ram Rush going on the primary town centre now, and a lot of knights here. So spearmen and horsemen on the menu for the Mista. But with this number of archers, the problem is these spearmen can be one-shotted so easily. And just feel like the armor composition for DeMusliM here is just a lot better. It's just a lot better. Knights and archers versus horsemen, spears. I'd take the knights and archers any day. The dock is up and running though on the north, so food income will be starting to be accumulated again for the Mista, but he's going to struggle here. He's going to lose some houses as well. He's lacking in wood already. Losing houses won't be helping him. Wooden Fortress is going down for DeMusliM. Full map control here for DeMusliM, looking to be strong in the feudal age. And there are a lot of horsemen there for the Mista though, pushing this back. There are a lot of archers as well. But, you know, falling back to the Wooden Fortress is always an option for DeMusliM and the Knights there as a meat shield. So whilst there are a lot of horsemen, it feels like the horsemen need to be doing eco damage here to cut off the army production. But the problem is the production is on one side, the economy is on the other. So the horsemen will need multiple locations to attack at once, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen. 2 barracks do go down. Ram getting a lot of value here, getting rid of houses as well. DeMusliM getting a large amount of food income from the... Is he going for a second boar? Because that boar is still going, I suspect. Now, the primary boar has been taken, but he's been getting a lot of sheep there underneath the town centre. Yeah, the numbers looking great here for DeMusliM. Putting wooden fortresses everywhere. Getting the arrow slits as well, which is super important. Means that Mista can't really get out of his base without taking to round himself, but the problem for him is he's got an army to deal with here, and every time the horsemen get hesitant, every time they go forward, they're being one-shotted at this stage. This is painful. Mista losing horsemen for free, and having ranged units at this point is super strong for DeMusliM. As we're seeing, looks like DeMusliM getting a strong foothold in this first game of best of 3 of the second set of the quarterfinals, and the winner of whom will go on to face up against the Bee. Horsemen looking to dive now, looking to get a wraparound on the archers, but there are spearmen as well, so that's going to be bad for the Mista. DeMusliM getting a bit of everything here. Archers, knights, spearmen. The wooden fortress going down, and yeah, the Mista just can't take an effective fight here. He needs archers of his own now because of the spearmen that's involved. And this is looking very rough for the Mista. That is for sure. Still biding his time though, looking to mass up even more, but he's just lost numbers progressively to the archers that have the ranged attack. And there it is, he calls it, he taps out, the Mista taps out. DeMusliM takes game number 1 of this best of 3, the second set of the quarterfinals. He's in pole position, just needs one more win, DeMusliM, to get to the semi-finals. We shall see if he can do it, or the Mista can pull one back. Don't go anywhere, guys. Game number 2 coming right up. Game number 2 is here between the Mista and DeMusliM. The second set for the quarterfinals for the Road to Redbull Wololo, week number 3. And the winner of this set will actually go to play against 3DB in the semi-finals. DeMusliM taking the first game on 4 lakes means now the Mista has a bit of a task to do. He needs to pull back a game here to stay within the chance of facing up against 3DB in the semis. We've got Mista here on the west corner of the map, playing in blue as the French. And in the north corner of the map, we've got DeMusliM playing in red as the Holy Roman Empire. Map is Phrygian marshes. We've seen it now quite a few times. Gold is always an issue. Primary gold here, relatively far forward for the Mista, setting a villager out there now. Secondary gold, again, even further forward. Same thing really for DeMusliM. And we have got these pockets of beautiful shorefish, which can be a fantastic food resource. Very fast, and often we see players go for a second town centre in this kind of area. This could be a really nice spot for a second town centre. We shall see. The Holy Roman Empire, it's a strong civilization. They've got a nice economy bonus, but on an aggressive map like this, it feels like they'll need to go aggressive, maybe with the rather than the maybe go for the Burger Palace essentially, and maybe even the Minework Palace instead of the Ark and Chapel. We shall see how DeMusliM plays this one out. We've seen a lot of Holy Roman Empire on this map, and French. The Mista probably looking to be aggressive with the French. He went for a bit more of a passive approach with the Abbasid dynasty on 4 lakes, and wasn't able to kind of defend himself against the Rus feudal age. I think the Mista looking to change things up a little bit, be on the offensive, be a bit more aggressive this time, I suspect, especially with 8 villagers on food and 4 on gold. He's looking for that fast uptime, not looking for wheelbarrow at any point at this stage. And as we can see, the Prelate doing his religious duties, inspiring the villagers to work faster. Yeah, I love this map. We'll be seeing, I think something to note, by the way, guys, is the first two maps of these, this particular set anyway, have been both community maps, and I think that's really strong for the Age of Empires 4 community, that we're making maps ourselves which are really well suited for the esports scene. Big hats off to egctv that are hosting this tournament, because they've really allowed this to happen and flourish. They could have said, oh no, we're just going to use the standard maps, but no, they've inspired, well, community members have made the maps anyway, and they've had a good idea to actually feature them, give them the showcase, give them the platform to show what the maps are like on an esports scene. And so for me, that's huge. It's huge as a supporting of the community and developing that community. So fantastic work being done here by egctv, and I'm looking forward to casting more of their games and enjoy the community vibes and Age of Empires 4 esports scene. It's some good games happening so far at the moment. Both players, in particular here, the Mista and DeMusliM, putting on some great fights and great matches, and hopefully we'll get more of the same in this particular fight and this set, because the Mista is 1-0 down. He'll look to equal up the score and maybe push this to a third game. Getting a lot of sheep there with the second scout, because of course French tend to go second scouts to get the food income that they need early on. I suspect DeMusliM probably did get a second scout himself. That would usually be the play against coming up against the French. He has got a second scout himself, but doesn't really have the sheep, and it just feels like scouting pattern's an issue, because I mean, we've seen a couple of times actually that from Frisian marshes in particular, there's often one player that gets the rub of the green, gets all the sheep, and the other kind of player doesn't really get as much. So we'll need to take a look at the sheep spawn, I think, on this map generally to see what it's like. But yeah, I mean, it just seems to be the case. It's probably just pure coincidence, but this is a big deal because the French love eating through the sheep, and that's a lot of food economy that's there that the Mista can take advantage of without having to expand. Now, having to expand on this map is quite dangerous, quite precarious, so having this free food underneath the town centre, nice and safe, is huge. It means that you can focus attention on protecting the gold vein, and doesn't need to do much more than that. Okay, now up to the food lage is Mista, looking to get some early knights on the field, as we can see. And DeMusliM instantly putting down an outpost, looking to be quite heavy on stone, maybe for arrow slits, but it has got 4 villages, so maybe for a second town centre. Ark and Chapel going up for DeMusliM, which would be a nice spot for him. Villager on gold being pressurised, so the Ark and Chapel will be able to inspire villagers taking sheep here, inspire the wood villagers and the gold villagers, except there are no gold villagers at the moment because the 2 scouts being very, very annoying. And there'll be knights on the way as well, so this is an issue because, yeah, the stone is protected for now. DeMusliM has enough stone for the town centre. He didn't really need an outpost there, all things considered, because the knight isn't even there just now. Especially, oh, he's going to keep some villagers on stone though, to be fair, for arrow sets, I suspect. Yeah, fair enough. Looking to get that second outpost up on the gold mine. He will get it up in time, and that's actually quite crucial, because the early knight is making his way, but it won't make it in time. The outpost is up, and he's researching arrow slits there as well. So DeMusliM securing his position, securing his resources, is securing his stone and his gold, which is a very nice move. Getting the Ark and Chapel up and running, and villagers being inspired by the prelates inside. Alright, looks like the Mista's matching like for like, looking to get a second town centre himself. Got a decent number of villagers there on stone, collecting the stone for the second town centre. I'd be interested to see where both players put their town centres, because looks like DeMusliM is looking to move the villagers back. But oh, he's actually just moving his wood line. Oh, wow, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Wood line got completely attacked there. It does have a nice safe back wood line here for DeMusliM, so that's one thing to be happy about. Now, the good thing about the Mista and the situation he's in is DeMusliM's going to struggle to expand to any meaningful distance with the second town centre. I mean, where does he go? Where can he safely put a second town centre? I mean, nowhere really, apart from like the wood line, maybe the berries. Maybe looking to get it on the gold to secure the gold. I think here's something he's got to target. But the problem is the knights are in the way. He's going to be able to get a good hit on this villager. Snipes the villager, despite having arrow slits in the outpost. And if chivalry comes into play for the Mista, that could become a huge, huge problem. Yeah, Mista looking to get a second town centre. And the thing is, because he's got the map control with the knights, is his expansion can go exactly where he wants it, which is between 2 shore fishes. And this is key because this is the fastest way to gather food. And so the knights do a great job of keeping map control, but it looks like actually DeMusliM is looking to expand. Sneaky, managed to get away with it. I think Mista's noticing it though. He's got his scout, so will he see where those villagers are going? Because I think he's on the chase. I think he's actually on the chase. He's going to see it. The scout sees it. That's huge, because this is going to be denied Because, I mean, DeMusliM can't get that up. And this is the issue. He can't get his second town center in a meaningful spot. And so the villagers are now, not only have they not got the second town center up, these guys are idle. That's a lot of idle villagers, guys. 12 to be exact. And now the villagers do go back. Mista can't really harass the villagers anymore, but this, I think it was 2 nights, maybe 1 night? 1 night and 2 scouts got so much value. It's huge. Stable going out for the Mista, looking to double down on night production. Has got his second town center up and running now. The food income is going to be absolutely nuts for him. Let's take a look actually. Let's take a look at the income per minute. We can see, it's just not really picked up yet. I think when these guys drop off, we'll see the food income being very, very high. Yeah, starting to pick up. And considering that the Ark and Chapel's in play with the sheep, this is a very, very respectable food income for the Mista. And it's slowly increasing. Yep. The Mista's food income started to overtake the Muslims. And looking strong here. A lot of villagers on gold as well. Be able to afford the knights from 2 stables. Getting chivalry as well to heal up the knights he already has. Looks like in the meantime, DeMusliM's going for a fast castle. Got a lot of villagers on gold, looking to get enough gold for the castle age time, which he does have now. The problem for him is, okay, he gets the castle age, but what does he do then? He's not going to be able to afford anything unless he keeps control of the gold. He does have a tower with arrow slits, but at this soon, I mean, these knights are going to be coming along. They got chivalry, so with good micro, in and out, harassing these villagers, it's going to be great work for the Mista. Quite a few knights on the field already, 4 in total. And even expanding out to Milda on the right, slowly gathering shorefish out there. Mista's position looking very, very strong. Look at that food economy. The Burger of Palace going over for DeMusliM. That's a sensible choice. It's going to be struggling to get the relics in the Relics Cathedral with the map control that is currently occupied by the French, played by the Mista. So the Burger of Palace will be a way to fight back. Saves a lot of wood. Effectively 4 barracks there. So Spearman defense could be an option here for DeMusliM. But the village account will be starting to get a bit out of hand for the Mista. 42-30 for DeMusliM, and don't forget the town centers work faster for the Mista. So even if I don't think DeMusliM actually managed to get a second town center in the end. He's got 425 stone. He maybe you can look to count to get a bit more stone, up to about 800 to get a castle, a keep of his own for defenses. I think that's probably another spot he can use, or maybe even buy the stone, but maybe even sell it. We shall see what he decides to do, because he's struggling for gold, so maybe selling it is an option if you can invest in the market. But you know, the second town center not going up for DeMusliM is a rough deal, that is for sure. Looks like he's going to be looking to get some map control on the field with the Spearman, and then get a, maybe he's not given up the idea of a second town center just yet. The villagers going from wood. He's placed the town center where? That's just a mill he's placed. Doesn't have the wood for it, I'm afraid. It doesn't have many villagers on wood. And now we see the Mista going up to the castle age as well. This is huge. Mista playing this absolutely fantastically. What's he going up with? He's going for the Royal Institute. He's doubling down. He's going aggressive in the castle age. This is a telltale sign. The choice here at this stage to get up to castle age is a telltale sign of how the mentality of the player is going to be going forward. Guildhall will be certainly more for the longer game, but the Royal Institute, you can see Mista has aggression on his mind at this stage. Alright, the Knights are in hot pursuit of the Scouts for the Mista. Wants to kind of snipe this. I mean, he doesn't really need to. He's just looking to back this off, I think. And the Mista's going to be in a strong position, it has to be said. Spearman defense coming up for DeMusliM. But still no second town center, so he's got 425 stone in the bank. And that's quite a heavy investment, guys. Because he had to get an outpost on that to protect that. And not to have that second town center is kind of rough. He's behind on villagers. The economy looking great for the Mista. 55 villagers for the Mista, 35 for DeMusliM, and being housed at the same time. Not looking great. And looks like DeMusliM looking to get some of the relics, though. He's going to send a Predator out. And pick up some of the relics being protected by some veteran spearmen. Going quite heavy on gold. Actually, these villagers, maybe he's looking to get a second town center now. Better late than never, I suppose. Where's he going? Okay, yeah, he's put the second town. He put the town center in the same spot, and so he'll be able to catch up. Actually, he won't. He's just too far behind, guys. Villager count anyway. He'd be looking to get the relics though, which will at least support his economy. But getting the second town center so late, and by virtue of the fact that the French town centers produce faster anyway, I think DeMusliM is going to be under a lot of pressure very, very soon. He's going to have to do something about this. He's going to need to pressure. He's on a timer, that is for sure. Going to pick up 2 relics though. That's certainly going to help his cause. Doesn't have the Regis Cathedral to use. He needed the Burger of Palace, and this is all coming out of the initial pressure you feel for the Mista. Now, there's a couple of knights that are coming out. They just did so much damage for the rest of the whole game. It's really fascinating to watch that. When you get a bird's eye view of this, a matchup like this, you can analyze the game. It's easy for us to know, obviously, because we're not in the game itself, but looking at it from a bird's eye perspective, you can just see how much value that the French get with that early knight harass. And denying the gold for a time, causing idle time, denying the town centre for such a long time. It's only now that he's getting the second town centre at DeMusliM, and the French have the bonuses of the town centres, their own town centres working faster. But we do see now, Mista's going to need to think about a backup plan, because he does have veteran knights, but we do see veteran spearmen on the field for DeMusliM for the defence. The mobility will be on the side of the Mista, so he can engage fights as much as he wants to, or as little as he wants to. But probably will be looking to get a transition into maybe archery ranges himself. Getting some archery ranges, as you can see, around the keep. This has been played very, very nicely by the French, by the Mista. Because around the keep now, the archery ranges and stables units cost is reduced by 20%. That is, again, a huge amount of saving. And so the Mista looking very strong. There are a couple of relics, though, coming in for DeMusliM. But will that be enough? I don't actually even see the monastery just yet. He's actually keeping the relics inside the buildings, and that's a nice touch, because that's going to definitely protect his base. As you know, the relics being garrisoned in outposts and such like, and keeps and things like that, can increase the armor damage, sight range, weapon, and also still get the gold generation, so that's pretty important. 100 gold per minute is not to be snuffed at. It's about essentially 2.5 villages, so I mean, he's going to need a lot more to be able to balance the economy here, because 75 villages for the Mista, 76 now, 42 for DeMusliM. DeMusliM looking to move out with some spearmen. We'll see what he's actually going for. What's he going for? He's going for going straight past the boar. I think he may have seen the economy here. He's seen the pocket economy, looking to harass us now. He doesn't see this. He's actually going forward, and we shall see. No, he's just camping out the sacred site. Maybe he's looking to get hold of the sacred site, actually. Yeah. The only other option for DeMusliM here to catch up with the villager count, really, is probably going to be going up to the Imperial Age. Going for the Palace of Swabia. It has quite a few man-at-arms back at home for defense. But if DeMusliM can get up to the Imperial Age with the Palace of Swabia, that can really start to increase the villager count with the printer that's there. But a lot of veteran archers and arbaletiers as well on the field for the Mista. Looking to push back the spearmen. A nice army composition actually for the Mista here. And you just feel as well with the mobility that Mista has with the knights. He'll be able to do some damage. If the army's not in position for DeMusliM, that's something he's got to keep an eye on. He's got to keep his army in the right positions, because any exposed eco could be picked off at any time by the veteran knights that the Mista has at his disposal. Still producing them as well, so having a nice army composition, mixed army composition, seems to be the way in Age of Empires 4 with the hard counters being so hard. A Wololo going there, and actually the prelate gets sniped. Yeah, the charge attack is going to be a bit too much for him there. And things looking smooth for the Mista, has to be said. Has to be said. Quite a few villagers going forward. Not sure what they're up to. Going for gold here. Okay, another unit does get sniped there for DeMusliM. Mista looking to push out a little bit here. Spearmen looking to try and secure the relic, but it doesn't look like that's going to be taken anytime soon, because the Mista's going to forget all about that. He's not too worried about that. It's going to pressurize coming in from the south. There are man-at-arms heading that way though, so man-at-arms will do relatively well against the archers, but knights will be able to do a good amount of damage with the charge attack as well. And the archers in behind will probably tickle them, but there are a couple of arbaletiers mixed in there. And it's the arbaletier that will do a massive amount of damage to the man-at-arms. Spearmen coming in, looking to take out some of the knights from behind. It's a good fight, good engagement here for DeMusliM, all things considered. But there are quite a few arbaletiers, but there are a lot of man-at-arms charging in now. And there's also a Lanzknecht there, which does get wiped out pretty quickly. And overall, you can see the Mista using his mobility against the spearmen. And the knights are going to be doubling down now, looking to protect the archers behind. And this is where range units can be super beneficial. Predate's going to be sniped by the knights. And overall, it's the mobility here. The micro is on point here for the Mista. Mista looking to take this fight relatively well. DeMusliM might end up taking a lot of losses here. Not enough to maybe push him out of the game, but he's going to struggle here because the Mista has a flooding economy here. He's going to be flooding knights, flooding units. Don't forget, the villager count is pretty healthy for the Mista. 60 villagers for DeMusliM, 96 for the Mista. That's going to be able to produce a lot of army here, albeit knights, which is a very expensive unit. But the knights here that are weak are going to be healed up. May lose this one. Just loses that one, unfortunately. Weren't able to back off and take the bonus of chivalry. But Mista quite happy with that. He's depleted the military for DeMusliM. 46 military for Mista, 22 for DeMusliM. Mista looks to be in very good control of this game. DeMuslim's going to need to really kind of defend himself for a long time and get up to the Imperial Age, I suspect, to print up a lot of villages and get an economy going. But he is under pressure. He is under pressure. He's got a good farming economy. This is a big difference as well, because Mista with the map control has been able to expand and get this free food that's on the map. Like the fastest free food you can get, more or less. And whereas DeMuslim's having to concentrate on farms and putting the wood economy to that. And so all things considered, just the way you look at the map and the game, how it's panning out macroscopically, Mista's in a very good strong spot here. Still away though. DeMusliM will be looking to pile on the pressure soon, I suspect. Either that or go up to the next stage for the Palace of Swabia. Outpost being put down for the Mista to get some vision on the map. Looking to push towards the central area of the map. Maybe even looking to secure the sacred site. That could be an option for him. Getting a stone maybe for a forward keep as well. Trebuchets on the field. Looking to take down the outpost. But as you can see, he's benefiting from the emergency repairs for that town centre. Okay, spring on replacements there as well. Alright, Mista being patient, not diving in too quickly. Going to look to snipe some villagers though with his ranged units, and that'll be useful. Trebuchet doing good work here. A second Trebuchet would really make a big difference here, but slowly going to take down the outpost. Probably can siege us down now with the veteran knights, and he's not going to be worried about that at all. That will go down, that outpost, and now we can really start to pressure in. Not only does the outpost go down for the static defense, but the relic also. So it means that DeMusliM has less gold to play with, and that's a problem because he only has 7 villages on gold. He's not going to be able to produce a huge amount of crossbows, which is probably what he's wanting to do. He does have quite a few man-at-arms on the field, and don't forget the crossbows need archery ranges, and I don't see a whole lot of them. As we can see now, the knights with the mobility going to snipe villages left, right and centre. DeMusliM under a lot of pressure here. He's going to need a lot more units. Does have the Burgo Palace to produce them, but it just feels like the man-at-arms and the archers aren't going to be able to do a whole lot of damage with the mobility that they have. It's a lack of mobility rather, because with crossbows you can kind of camp certain areas and the knights might lose a lot of HP on their charging into it. But at this stage, the Mista looking in pole position, getting the trebuchets to now focus fire on the town centre, and slowly but surely is going to be sieged down by the knights. The knights aren't going to worry about the town centre fire, forcing DeMusliM to a fight that he probably doesn't want to take just now. Emergency repairs comes in, and the army does back away from the Mista. Being slow and methodical, not rushing it, he knows and understands the importance of not throwing this game away. Relic is being picked up by DeMusliM, that's actually really key. And the Mista looking to seal out this game. He needs to close this game out to pull it even, to push this to a best of 3, the final game, the third game in the best of 3. That's what the Mista will want to do, and that's what he'll need to do to be in with a shot of facing up against B in the semi-finals. But a second trebuchet is on the field now, so the emergency repairs are going to have their work cut out for them to continuously repair this. And in fact, I don't think the emergency repairs are going to be coming in time. 6 seconds, and the trebuchets will take out that second town centre. DeMusliM in a whole spot of bother here. Nowhere near going up to the Imperial Age. You just can't afford it at this stage. He needs to pump everything into military. The same cannot be said for Mista. He's actually got a lot of resources. It's actually population cap. That's a huge deal because he just needs to take fights now. Mista is being very cautious here, but it's understandable. He doesn't want to throw anything away. Getting forward keep to solidify that position in the gold mine there. And he's going to look to, once he does attack, if he loses his army, it's not a problem. He can just reproduce it. I mean, he probably could even think about going to the Imperial Age himself for a huge amount of tech advantage. Veteran Royal Knight cycling down on the left side with that mobility, always pulling DeMuslim's army left, right and centre. And again, sniping villagers. Won't want to take the fight, doesn't need to take the fight. Can use the mobility to pull away. And 4 trebuchets on the field now. The Mista slowly but surely pushing this away. As you can see now, crossbowmen are coming on the field now, but it might be too little too late. because the army numbers have really started to build up, and Imperial Age could be very shortly on the cards for the Mista. And DeMusliM can't even think about getting gold, this gold in particular, because of the keep that's there. He's going to need siege of his own. Once the gold does start to dry up for DeMusliM, there's not much he's going to be able to do. Does have the relics, is pushed out to the right side for the food to count there, but does still have 23 villages on gold, which is pretty healthy, all things considered. He's going to be pushing forward, actually. DeMusliM knows that he's on a timer. He's looking to push the main base. There's not a whole lot of economy here, just production building, so he's going to be not fighting too much. You can see the pocket economy here for the Mista means that his villages are relatively safe. And in fact, the Mista's going to push through with his veteran Royal Knights, with the 4 trebuchets in behind, and the Arbaletier, and this is going to be hard to stop now. DeMusliM went forward for their next, looking to get some damage with their skirmish, didn't get any damage. Now having to walk back a long way, march a long way. The emergency repairs will buy him some time, but again, that outpost goes down with the relic in it, and now, I mean, Mista could just siege this down with the veteran Royal Knights. There's no army in play for DeMusliM here to defend this, and this looks to be a bad spot, but the Mista will need to protect those trebs because they are vulnerable to an army diving in, but, you know, diving under the keeps here, not ideal with the infantry, but he will need to take the care of the trebs. He needs to do something to DeMusliM. He's starting to push off and look to try and deny the siege, but what the Mista's done so fantastically well is he's got lots of outposts here as well. Does get a good surround though. DeMusliM gets a really good surround on the Arbaletier. Arbaletier will go down to the man-at-arms and the lance connector. That's actually huge. This fight is huge for DeMusliM. We talked about DeMusliM having his army out of position, but it's actually the Mista who has his army out of position, despite all the mobility. And you know, the Mista lost a lot there, but the thing is that the macro fit in the Mista means that he can replenish his army very easily. Got a lot of wood though, floating a lot of wood. Maybe looking to get some siege on the field. Maybe need to transition to some farming economy. Not a single farm. Not a single farm, it seems, for the French at this point. New age begins for the Mista. Get up to the next age, and these knights will become extra tanky. That they won't mind diving everything once they become elite royal knights. And this is a problem for the DeMusliM. He's not going to be able to get up to the next stage. That's for sure. Only 139 population. He's looking to do some damage here, but might be a bit too little too late. DeMusliM doesn't see what we see. Looking to push this away, but we see now the knights diving in. A lot of spearmen in defense though, so DeMusliM is going to be holding this back. This is a very nice hold. But once these knights become elite knights, they'll probably be able to trade quite well. Not very cost effectively, but the Mista won't worry about that when he's at such a high population level. Okay, the knights using the mobility, running away. Not taking a bad fight. DeMusliM cycling around on the left. Actually, DeMusliM being a bit aggressive here, looking to find those pocket economies. And if he can disrupt the economy for the Mista, that could become a problem from what is a really strong starting position. He goes up with the Red Palace to defend that position as well. Sacred Site victory could be an option for the Mista. Pretty surprised he's not gone for the Sacred Sites, especially when they're completely under his control. He's got a lot to do. Got a lot to focus on here. Archers and Arbaletier looking to take down this fight. This kind of force for DeMusliM. Once this force for DeMusliM does go down though, it's going to struggle to replace it in any meaningful way because there are knights now diving and probably could even siege this outpost. It doesn't opt for it, it's going to go for the villagers instead. And villager count going to be dwindling here for DeMusliM. 66 for DeMusliM, 106 for the Mista. The army here for DeMusliM getting good value. Once this gets cleared up, DeMusliM's going to struggle. Yeah, forward keep, get out of my game, keep going down for the Mista, looking to push forward and build on the map control. And there it is. DeMusliM taps out. Game number 2 goes for the Mista. Mista is back in it. He pushes the games to a third game for this best of 3. It's all coming down to the wire for this last game for the best of 3. Don't go anywhere. It's coming right up. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the third game for this best of 3 for the quarterfinal set between the Mista and DeMusliM. It's come down to the wire. This is the final game. The winner of this game is basically winner takes all, gets themselves a seat against B in the semi-finals for the Road to Redbull Wololo Legacy week number 3. There's a big prize at stake there in terms of their opportunities to get to the final if they can get through 3DB. But they need to play this game first. This is the important one. This is the one they need to focus on because we've got in the southeast corner of the map, playing in blue, the Mista as the Mongols. On the northwest corner of the map, we've got DeMusliM playing in red as the Chinese. The map is Lipini, so we can see these nice kind of cliffhangers on the map. Very typical for Lipini, and we need to think about where the sacred sites are. We don't have Delhi on this map today, but sacred sites could come into a situation. It depends how long the game goes off. Usually on one side of Lipini there are 2 sacred sites, but it's actually relatively equal spawn. There's kind of in the middle, sort of, but it is closer to the right side. We shall see if that becomes even of an issue. I suspect it probably won't against the Mongols and Chinese, but we shall see. The Mongols probably looking to be aggressive. Now, the Mista, as we know, he seems to excel pretty well at sort of aggressive play. So maybe we might see an outpost rush. I don't quite see where the over is just yet. We're going to have a look for that. I mean, base spawn-wise, for the Mista, it's not too bad. I mean, things you really look out for the Mongols is the woodline, the gold, and where the Ovu is going to be sitting. The Ovu is super exposed. But that gives the Mista even more reason to be aggressive. So that's what we're seeing. We see the double production of spearmen. We're going to be seeing a villager carrying some wood logs, but going forward to build an outpost, I'm sure. It looks like it's an outpost rush opening. It's so common with the Mongols now, even since the patch updates and stuff like that. It still seems to be a very common thing. But what has to be noted against the Chinese could become an issue because the Chinese can build the Barbican of the Sun, which offers a lot of protection and a lot of defense to secure, resource. It just depends how quickly he wants to go up. Surprisingly, I mean, what's going on here? Hang on a minute. Oh, I see. That's kind of weird. I didn't see the villagers. They're all actually hiding behind the mill. I was wondering where the food villagers were. They're there. Don't worry, they are there. A lot of sheep coming in for DeMusliM. Looks like he's gone for maybe 2 scouts, or he's just got a heck of a lot of luck with 1 scout. Yeah, went for 2 scouts. And we see the spearmen coming forward with an outpost going on the gold. Now the thing is as well that the Chinese won't struggle for gold necessarily. As long as they collect some gold, the imperial official can obviously collect taxes, which will certainly help with things. But he won't want to give up on this kind of mining camp if he can, because the Mongols will get a bit of a bonus, get a bit of food, bit of gold for setting this thing on fire. Looks like DeMusliM is going to allow the outpost to go up. Doesn't really have too much of an option with the spearmen there. And that gold will be denied. It'll be interesting to see where the Mista goes forward with the next outpost in follow-up. Alright, villager going forward, looking to get another outpost, maybe on the berries this time. Does have 100 wood, yeah, it's going to go for the berries. DeMusliM has quite a lot of villagers, could actually rush this down, but there are quite a few, 2 spearmen and a Khan. I suspect we'll be seeing 2 more spearmen coming out, maybe not. I don't see them on the field just yet. Yeah, there we are, 4 spearmen, usually what is commonly done. Now we do need to see that the outposts aren't end up being too far away from where the spearmen are, or the spearmen are being too far away from the outpost, because these outposts are pretty useless until feudal age, unless they have arrow slits, which is in the feudal age, and unless you can have units garrisoned inside. So the scouts are now looking to pressurize the barracks, but another 2 spearmen coming out soon from the barracks. DeMusliM's had enough. He's going to look to micro this and push the spears away and try and deny the tower, but he's not going to be able to. He's going to move the sheep back to another mill here so that it can be supervised. Outpost has done its work, but yeah, I mean, Mista's looking to put another outpost, maybe on this wood line. We'll need to be careful not to move too far away from the outpost though, because they can be sieged pretty easily without anything garrisoned in there. And a couple of hits there from the spearmen on the scouts for DeMusliM. DeMusliM needs to keep an eye out for that. Won't want to lose those 2 scouts, that's for sure. A 3rd outpost going down for Mista. They're looking to delay things for DeMusliM a lot. A Barbican of the Sun going up now. We can see this will offer some protection, but he does need to deal with the outposts. So this is an issue that the Mista will have to face up against. He might be able to garrison the outposts. I don't think it'll range the villagers, will it? That'd be pretty bad if it does. I don't think it will. He never actually torched this mining camp, which is rather surprising. He would want that free resources that the Mongols get, so that's rather surprising. He's going quite heavy on wood and gold himself, the Mista, looking to get up to the next stage. He's got enough food, or he could go up with the deer stones, so what's commonly done. 3rd outpost does go up, and the village offers a lot of protection for the villagers as well. The villagers can actually garrison there. Another outpost, so the Mista looking to double down. He's on. He's got quite a bit of stone in the kitty as well, obviously having the Ovu. And having 4 villagers on gold, or 5 villagers in fact at the moment. Well, he's transitioning now, those villagers. Keeping those villagers on gold would allow him to afford arrow slits, but instead he's going forward for food, putting a gur on the deer. Now, I'm pretty surprised he didn't set this on fire. Okay, Barbican of the Sun has gone up. Now, do we see another gold that DeMusliM can take? This is interesting because DeMusliM's going to be off of gold for quite some time until he addresses these outposts. Sure, the Barbican and Sun will do some damage against it, but not a whole lot. As you can see, each shot is only taking 5 HP, so... Wait, 1 HP. Okay, that's just nothing, really. So the outpost is going to be there for quite some time, so this is going to deny the gold. no secondary gold kind of secured for DeMusliM. It'd be interesting. I mean, if the Mista could get hold of that second gold, put an outpost there, that would be horrendous for DeMusliM. Going for an archery range and a mill here on the left side. And we do start to see arrow-slits coming in for the Mista. Oh, he's actually going 2 villages on gold here at the bottom south corner of the map. This is not a place that the Mista would ever really think of. So 2 villages there, safely getting gold, relatively safely considering where it is on the map. And that's going to be a decent amount of gold trickle for DeMusliM, especially because you know, the Imperial official will be able to collect tax. That will certainly help things. Another outpost going on this wood line, slowly making your way through, and this is an issue because, I mean, DeMusliM losing this village is a pretty big deal. This is quite a lot of wood investment. They probably won't lose it with the archers coming forward, but I mean, the outpost will go up, so the spearmen will be able to garrison in. Yeah, this is an issue. Yeah, that's an issue because there's a lot of population space that's given by that village as well, so DeMusliM will not want to lose that, but he might have to. Village is in place for the Mista as well. Mista being super aggressive here and is making it work. It has to be said. Another outpost going on the wood line, being very frustrated for DeMusliM. He's going to have to take into siege engineering, I suspect. He's collecting the wood for it now, I suspect. A lot of villages on wood. As you can see, he's got siege engineering from the blacksmith. He's needing to ram these down. But now, the Mista could probably just focus on getting to the castle age. Got a lot of villages on sheep, maybe looking to transition to pastures relatively soon. Getting a gird just to make things more efficient. And the village goes down, and you can see immediately DeMusliM is housed and in a big way. Has to get a replacement village, and that's not cheap. So a lot of wood there being lost there that he could be using to get rammed. So this is a fantastic play by by the Mista, getting another outpost there. Slowly continuing the creep. Okay, village does go up now for DeMusliM. Unlocks that population space again. And he's getting slowly but surely pigeonholed in his base. Another outpost going forward for the Mista. We don't see arrow slits on these ones. Well, that one's got arrow slits, which is nice. Yeah, these ones got arrow slits. Slowly getting arrow slits is an issue. And there we see the rams coming out. Ram and archers looking to push this back. DeMusliM will want to get hold of his base again if he can. Alright. We see spearmen flank around to the left side. Looking to do some damage. And this is quite nice because the archers are busy building the ram, and so this allows Mista to cycle around quite nicely. The archers now do come out, the rams have got out as well, but there are arrow slits, and at least some of the outposts, but the spearmen will want to be on hand to be able to take a good siege damage on the ram if they pop out. But a couple of horsemen on the field now actually for Mista. He's got the upgrade for making them horsemen instead of early horsemen. Continues to produce horsemen, which is a nice counter to the archers. Going to get some damage here on the villagers on food. This is huge because whilst the ram is busy trying to take out the outposts, you know, horseman here looking to do some damage on the villagers pulls the archers back, and it means the ram is completely exposed. The spearman getting a lot of siege damage. Okay, sure, he gets one outpost. It takes a lot of damage on that ram, but villagers will repair that ram. That's a nice touch by DeMusliM to repair that ram. DeMusliM has a lot of resources, has to be said. It could even go up to the castle age behind this. Outpost going on the left side, so there's a lot of things that DeMusliM's having to deal with because he's using the archers to build the rams. And slowly but surely, the Mista's cycling around. Arrow slits on this will be devastating for that wood line. And there we see the age up possible now for DeMusliM. We shall see if he does actually go up or if he commits to a feudal age fight. I mean, his economy is more suited to going up at this stage. The Mista, on the other hand, committing to more horsemen. 2 rams on the field, fully repaired. Looking to now get hold of this side here, where the berries are. Yep, DeMusliM biding his time, not committing to the age up just yet. This is huge. I mean, does DeMusliM not see this? Because I think he maybe doesn't see this. Yeah, he doesn't see those outposts. That's actually coming in clutch here. Arrow slits is in play now. This is going to harass the woodline. This is a problem for DeMusliM. I mean, he's going to have to relocate his whole woodline now. He might be able to push out here, but there are villagers still there, or spearmen rather, looking to siege down the rams. He's going to get one at least. That's actually huge. There's 300 wood there, and now we can garrison in the outpost again, delaying DeMusliM's pushback. And the woodline is completely gone. There's no real safe wood line for DeMusliM. This is the issue. Where does DeMusliM go for the wood? He can't go here. There's an outpost there. He'll be slowly taking that position back though, and that'll be key to take that position. Horsemen might be able to cycle through. It'd be interesting if the Mongols pull the horsemen in to dive this area, because there's a lot of archers. They can't really deal with this too well. Villagers being pulled to siege down the other outpost. Horsemen are going to dive, and this could be bad for DeMusliM. He has to pull back the villagers. They won't want to take too many losses. We'll take some losses. This is going to be quite happy for Mista to dive this. Going to get a couple of villagers for his troubles. And he pushes the ram back again. So again, no safe wood for DeMusliM still. He did lose 2 of the outposts, but this has delayed things so much. He did lose a lot of army though, the Mista. So the rams now will start to do some damage with the archer numbers behind. But don't forget, DeMusliM's still in the feud age. He's not been able to click up because of this. Now we see the Mista garrisoning this outpost, delaying his opponents so much, and looking to get to the castle age himself. He's spending a lot of gold though. He's actually aged up. Mista has actually aged up. That is phenomenal. He's going up with the step redoubt. That's certainly going to help his gold income, and I mean the Mista's going to get to the castle age before DeMusliM does, and that's going to be key because now the age upgrades and the tech up is going to be solid for the Mista, whilst DeMusliM is going to be still building his landmark. Still one more outpost. Now the wood can be taken freely for DeMusliM, which will be a relief for him. And it looks like now the Mista's pulling back. He's quite happy to let this position go now. Now that he's in the castle age almost, he'll be able to put some pressure on, that's for sure. Alright, what will we see? Will we see some lancers? Will we see some man-at-arms? Feels like man-at-arms is probably the play. We do see 2 barracks here. Man-at-arms is going to be the play. Because there's not a lot that the Chinese can do to counter the man-at-arms until the castle age. But we do see a triple barracks. Man-at-arms is the play. His economy is set up that way with the food and the gold. We see the astronomical clock tower going down for DeMusliM. He's taking up to the castle age himself with barracks as well. Barracks is an interesting one. It looks like maybe DeMusliM is going for palace guards, which would be an interesting play. I don't think that's necessarily the strongest play because his economy is not going to be as strong, that's for sure. With only 29 villages for DeMusliM, 45 for the Mista, man-at-arms versus man-at-arms or man-at-arms versus palace guards is not a way forward for DeMusliM. He won't be able to produce to the quantity that the Mista can, as long as the Mista has the production buildings. Looks like crossbows will be a better option for DeMusliM to hold the position. He's going to need to hold his position so he can boom up again. But Mista seems to be in full control of this game at this stage, dictating the tempo, and that is huge in a game of Age of Empires 4. Dictating the pace of the game, taking the fights when you want to. Man-at-arms are not coming out for the Mista. Fantastic set. Looks like Mista's in the driving seat, looking to secure his position in the semi-finals of this Road to Redbull Wololo Legacy week number 3 tournament. Hosted by egctv, things are hotting up with their outposts. The outposts are starting to get cleaned up though for DeMusliM. That offers him a way back into the game, but a lot of damage has been done by these outposts, that's to say the least. 48 villages for the Mista, 32 for DeMusliM, and equal military numbers suggest that Mista is going to slowly pull ahead. Right, triple production of man-at-arms on the barracks there. And this is where the mangonels can become so strong, because they will take care of the spearmen and they'll just do a lot of area effect damage. All that lance is going to get taken out very, very cheaply there for the Mista. Not what he wanted, but there are man-at-arms for the Mista. Going to cancel the mangonel. Yeah, this is an issue. I mean, looks like DeMusliM is going for spearmen. I'm not sure how much of this he sees, because there are no lancers on the field. There's like one lancer. He doesn't see what's happening here. Or maybe a spectator bug, I'm not sure, but it just doesn't seem to see what's going on there. Because he's going for spearmen, which is not really the army composition he would want at this stage, coming up against the armoured man-at-arms. It's more the crossbows he'll want, but he just doesn't necessarily see it. Obviously, easy us saying this, we see everything. We have no fog of war. DeMusliM are under a lot of pressure here. Still another outpost there on the left side. And on this wood line. This wood line has been a pain not to be able to gather this wood. This is where he's going to defend DeMusliM. He needs that precious wood, but now with mangonels on the field, with a couple of springles as well, which do get cancelled actually. He's cancelling the mangonels, because there is a springled on the field for DeMusliM. This is a clock tower springled as well. And DeMusliM actually holding off for a bit. Yep, still man-at-arms on the menu for the Mista. Okay, Ram's coming out for DeMusliM. Still needs to take care of the outpost, I suspect. And looks like Imperial Academy go down. Go for the Song Dynasty. He's going to need that village count to really start to bolster. And then the Song Dynasty will help with that. As long as he doesn't keep getting housed. It's going to need some housing population there. 38 villagers for the DeMusliM Liquid. Sponsored, well, representing Team Liquid, rather. DeMusliM in red needs to get those villager counts up and rising if he's going to compete with Mista in the economy. Alright, looks like Mista's just piling on the pressure. He's going to be getting those army numbers up so he can put a strong force up and running. Protecting them with the outpost. The outpost creep for the Mongols is, I mean, we see quite common with the military in behind. Maybe a trebuchet or two would help the Mista, but he's going for the mangonels, springalds, and man-at-arms. Oh, he's going to get some decent shots on that mining camp, and if you can take that mining camp out, that'll be a denying of the gold. He does still have those two villagers here, the DeMusliM mining that gold. Get some villager kills as well with the mangonel. Springal's in play as well, so it's looking rough for DeMusliM, has to be said. But DeMusliM might pick off one Springal. Actually, oh, just survives that. Yeah, picks off one, and this is a really nice micro for DeMusliM. Look, using the villagers to repair the Springals. And this is the thing about the clock tower. It means that the siege workshop produces siege engines with 50% extra health. So with great micro like that, I mean, DeMusliM just basically took a Springal out for free. And looks like now the Mista looking to capture the sacred sites. That gold trick will be invaluable for him. Lots of Springals though on the field for the Mista. Right, villagers going out for DeMusliM. Let's see where they're going. Looking for the gold maybe. Looking for the deer actually with the mill. Taking out the outposts that have been placed. Another sacred site being taken by the Mista. He'll be able to get the relics behind this as well. He's probably got a couple already. He's got 2 relics. The gold income is going to be insane for the Mongols, if it wasn't already with a Step Redoubt. Okay, moving out to the right side. Or the Mista, looking to keep on pressuring. He might lose the Khan though if he's not careful. To the archers there, and the Springals now are diving in. Lots of them. Springals coming forward for DeMusliM as well. But Man-at-Arms looking to now harass that wood line. This is where the issue is. DeMusliM doesn't have a counter at all for the Man-at-Arms. And this is where things are going to start to get hairy, because it's going to lose the villagers, it's going to lose that population space, and you're going to have to pump in wood again for replacing these villagers. You can see now it's got 100 population space, drops down to 60, immediately housed, and any wood that DeMusliM has is going to have to invest in houses or villages. And Man-at-Arms are going to dive here now with their pierce armor. They're not going to have any problems at all. Spearmen are going to come in back to defend for DeMusliM, but doesn't really have enough. This is the beginning of a spiral out of control. The things will steamroll from here. The Mista looking in pole position to secure his position for the semi-finals. It seems like it's only a matter of time. DeMusliM struggling to hold on with Spearmen and Springals. It does pick off a good Springal there for the Mista, so taking relatively even trades, especially having the advantage. But there it is. There is the tap out. DeMusliM calls it. The Mista wins the set 2-1. He books his position in the semi-final. He's going to be coming up against 3DB. That will be coming in a video tomorrow for the Castle Games, but we're going to move swiftly on to the next quarterfinal matchup between Beastyqt and Kasva. That's going to be one heck of a set. Stick around, don't go anywhere, that's coming right up. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. The third set for the quarterfinals between Beastyqt and Kasva. We already have the semi-final set up between 3DB and the Mista, and we're going to be working our way to find out who's going to be playing in the second set for the semi-finals. The quarterfinals here, Beastyqt and Kasva, going to be a fantastic matchup. These guys are great to watch. Kasva, super aggressive at times, but can definitely play the macro approach. It feels like Beastyqt is a bit more of a macro player, but can definitely mix it up with the aggressive play. I mean, they wouldn't be at the top of the players. These top players wouldn't be at the top of the game if they couldn't do everything, and they can. It just seems the personalities are really starting to develop in the coming weeks for the Road to Redbull Wololo Legacy. And we have a mirror matchup, Holy Roman Empire. This will be interesting because the Holy Roman Empire can play in 2 different ways, really. Obviously, they're known for their economy with the Archon Chapel, the Prelate, but they do get the Minework Palace, they do get the Burgrove Palace for the kind of cheap upgrades for the Minework Palace and the faster producing units for the Burgrove Palace. So we shall see how both these players play this one out. I don't usually say this about mirror matches, but this is probably quite an exciting one. In the southwest corner of the map, we've got Kasva playing in red, as we said, as the Holy Roman Empire. On the northeast corner of the map, we've got Beastie playing in blue, as we already know, as the Holy Roman Empire. We do see Beastie not actually... Oh, he has gone for the dock. Okay, so he's going for the dock now, which is quite standard for 4 legs. We see Kasva getting his fishing ships out as well. What's interesting is that we shall see if either player goes for the neutral docks, or quote-unquote neutral. What's kind of odd, I suppose, is that usually they go for the south dock, but it looks like this map generation, actually, they're closer to the west side and the east side on the spawn. Yeah, so this actually, yeah, totally makes sense. What's really interesting, though, is that if Beastie can extend the range for to his dock of the town centre, then the emergency repairs could work for that dock, and that's actually super important, because what we have seen players do is actually pressurize that initial dock. I don't think Kasva will have that same opportunity. He definitely won't. But this dock is actually a lot further out, has to be said. I mean, a dock here would have been achieving the same sort of thing, so that's actually a bit tricky for Kasva. I think maybe just went around the long way for the wood, the forest. It's a bit awkward for him there. Pretty exposed, that dock, has to be said. That could become a problem for him. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what both players go up to the next stage with in terms of feudal age landmark. Whether either of them goes for the Minework Palace or the Arkan Chapel. I mean, it feels like both players will go for the Arkan Chapel. It just, I don't know, a lot of players have said this, and it seems to be holding true, that the Arkan Chapel is so strong as an economy landmark that you can't really ignore it. But we shall see, you never know, they might have a special build in play for us. 4 fishing ships out for Kasva, 5 for Beastie. Right, neither player got the food just yet for the next stage, but they're slowly working on it, slowly but surely. Let's talk relics, because that's relatively important for the Holy Roman Empire. If they don't go for the Burger Palace, if they play a longer game and they go for the Rings Cathedral, relics could come into play. And there's a nice relic spawn here for Kasva. Pretty close, actually, has to be said. This one on the right side, these one are relatively kind of neutral. I'd say the same for these two overall. 4 pretty neutral, but this one is a nice spot for Kasva. I mean, will we see Kasva going for the relics and the kind of more eco-based approach? I'm not so sure. We shall see how he plays this one out, spending quite a lot of villagers, 6 villagers on the Arkan Chapel to get that up and running. Arkan Chapel going up for Beastie, going for 3 villagers instead of the 6. So Kasva really investing in getting that feudal age time quicker. It'd be interesting to see what that unlocks for him, comparatively. Beastie quite settled on just having 3 villagers, quite happy with that uptime. Alright, hope you guys are enjoying the casted games, the quarterfinals. Quite a few games for us in store. Still another possible 6 games. This is the first game of this particular set, so we shall see if it goes to 3 games or not. Best of 3s, these ones. Yep, both players doing standard HRE things. Nothing too crazy. Looks like Beastyqt looking to get hold of this eastern fishing pond, or at least actually protect it with walls. Setting a villager out there. There is a scout there. That villager will go down unless Beastie pulls in the scouts, which he is. So he's bringing his 2 scouts up. Probably will end up getting the wall up. That's actually pretty big for Beastie. That protects that dock very nicely. And as you can see, he's actually built the house there. So the dock is in the range. So what Beastie's done here is very clever. It's very nice as well. He's going to be securing this fish. There's no real way that Kasva can deny this because the walls are up. If he could sneak a villager here, but that's cutting it fine, to be honest. And it looks like actually not, because Beastyqt is walling up this side as well. If he gets that wall up, that economy is super safe. Can't say the same for Kasva. This dock is super exposed. But we shall see. There is a scout there for Kasva, keeping an eye on things. Setting quite a few villagers to gold, and the new age begins. Before Beastyqt gets to the feudal age, Kasva already there, of course. Alright, looking good for Kasva on the food count. Oh, looks like Kasva is sending a villager there, trying to get a dock up. Will he? That's pretty ambitious. I'm not sure where that villager is, but whoever it is going to come in for a rude awakening, coming to pass through the village of Beastyqt. Quite a few sheep there, 8 of them for Kasva. A decent number there for Beastyqt as well, so nothing to be snuffed out, nothing really too unequal there. Oh my god, the villager got through. How did that happen? How did that happen? Does BC see this? That's the key thing. BC does see this. This is an important thing. So he's going to send some villagers, maybe even... he's just going to send the villagers. He's going to just siege this down, I suspect. Won't be able to kill the villager. The dock will go up. Or will it? Yeah, it will do. But the villager does go down now, and I think BC is just going to siege this. He's not going to commit to a hulk, which makes... Go for a galley, actually. Well, they're not in the castle. Actually, wait. Do the French not get hulks in the castle age, in the feudal age anymore? They don't. They actually take that. They took that away on a recent patch, didn't they? Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Right, he's looking to take that down, but we do see a galley coming out for Kasva as well. It probably will come out. Actually, the villagers will try and siege this down. Only one galley will come out, which will harass the fishing ships. It does make Beastyqt commit to a galley himself. So despite all this walling, he managed to get the dock up, which is pretty surprising. That to be said, I wasn't expecting that at all. The galley comes out. It's going to be taking a couple of villages out. This is pretty rough. 2 villages go down. Maybe a third and a fourth maybe. That's such a good value. Even though he might not take too many fishing ships out, that's very good value. He'd probably take 1 or 2. And this is very good value for this galley, that is for sure. Beastyqt moving that fishing ship. And that's actually a nice move there by Beastyqt. Good micro there. Fishing ship will go down now. Be able to focus more on the fishing ships. It's pretty surprising that Kasva managed to do that amount of damage and Beastyqt not been able to do any sort of similar damage, considering how exposed Kasva's dock is here. Yeah, quite a few fishing ships going down. Kasva looking to be in a strong position because of that. Don't forget, he picked up 2 villages. Going for the Vegas Cathedral, looking to pick up those relics. There's one sitting right in his face. A prelate there on hand to pick it up as well. And that's going to be a very nice gold income for him. Kasva looking strong in this game so far, has to be said. This fishing ship, will it stay alive? Oh, just taken down. Just taken down. This galley will be going down now, but Kasva definitely got good value for that, that's for sure. Kasva reaching the castle age. And Beastyqt now looking to fully wall himself. Is going to the castle age himself with the Vegas Cathedral. Relic has already been picked up, one of them. Kasva looking to get another one as well, so 2 relics already in the grasps of the red prelates. Another prelate going out as well. Kasva looking to get the relics, and it's an interesting thing because Beastyqt is very commonly getting relics, but it looks like Kasva's on the mission today for that. Okay, looks like Kasva's prelate is going to be pipped to the post by Beastyqt's one. That prelate will be picking up that relic. I mean, that's tricky because I mean, it's easy knowing it now, but if Kasva had that initial prelate waiting there on that relic, he definitely would have got it. So it's a bit it's just not. It's easy for us to say we see everything. It's not the most optimum positioning there for Kasva. Could have got that relic and the one closer to him as well. But it is what it is. He's got 2 relics. He's got what he wanted. It looks like Kasva will get 2 relics of his own as well to equal and balance things out. Oh, relic might be sniped here. I'm not sure what happened there. Did that monk get sniped somehow? It's kind of weird. It picks up the relic anyway, and looks like Kasva looking to secure the sacred site. Not going to. There's 2 spearmen there. You need to pull away from that. Relic does back away. Oh, actually, he sniped it. He sniped it. He sent some lances there. He's got the mobility. That's what happened to that monk, that prelate. But just 1 prelate then. Just one relic so far for Beastyqt. So Kasva managed to cycle round. The walls didn't go up in time for Beastyqt. That's actually pretty significant. Kasva's actually kept him open. We need to transition to make sure that it keeps him open because there are spearmen on the field. Won't want to take too many fights with his lancers there. It looks like Kasva's looking to get the sacred site on the left. Oh, the villager will get that wall down. And there's prelates there healing up the villagers. So Beastyqt is fully walled now, but Kasva has got quite a few of the relics. Beastyqt only managed to get 1 of them. That will leave Kasva with a good few of them. Got a relic there in the outpost there, as you can see, and it's got to capture the sacred site. So Kasva looking stronger this game. The economy looking a lot more solid for Beastyqt. Not entirely sure why. He's got so much food and gold. I mean, it makes sense. Do you know what? This is an issue for Kasva. This is where a problem comes in because Beastyqt is going to go for the Imperial Age, for the Palace of Swabia. You can always feel it. Kasva invested quite a lot into Castle Age, but the problem is he's not getting the value that he really wanted. because Beasty has fully walled up. Whilst there's lots of Lancers on the field, it's a pretty cheap and effective defensive unit here, the Spearman, for Beastyqt to deny these Lancers. You just get the feeling that Man at Arms might have been a better play, but obviously don't have the mobility. 2 Sacred Sites in the grasp of Kasva now with the relic, so hopefully he can look to get up to the Imperial Age himself once he notices that Beasty is there. He actually has a decent amount of resources to do that. Plenty of gold though. Beasty's got a heck of a lot of gold. Where is he even getting it from? Is it the primary gold vein? Yeah, it's this one here. Okay, rather surprising the gold income. You can just see how much Kasva must have spent for the gold. Yep, there we are. Beasty is ready to go up. He's going to send some villagers, going to wall behind this as well. Going to bide his time. It might be a mistake. Yeah, he's going for the Palace of Swabia, but I mean, yeah, it's not really ever a mistake with the Palace of Swabia. It can't really go wrong, especially if you can hold him back. And maybe some crossbowmen would really help his cause. Beastyqt to defend his position. Go for an outpost there. Doesn't. Yeah, he's going to rush down the walls first, though. It's a sensible thing to do. Alright, looks like Kasva's going pretty aggressive Castle Age. He's going for the crossbows as well. Very heavy food and gold units. He is nowhere near the Imperial Age himself, so he's going to pile on the pressure. But if Beasty can get a relic in the outpost, which he might sacrifice and do, then that could be a problem for Kasva. He's got a lot of crossbowmen behind, which kind of semi-counters these spearmen, which are now up to veteran level, and they can do some damage to the knights, that's for sure. Still taking the fight though. Kasva notices now that Beastyqt is in the Imperial Age, so the printer's going to be printing. And we see now barracks going down for Beasty. Now this is strong here. Kasva's putting a lot of Castle Age pressure. Beasty might have just teched up a little bit too early, not securing his position, because now he's under a lot of pressure. 2 Sacred Sites are there for Kasva. But we shall see. It will take some time for the Palace of Swabia to really kick in. 41 villagers for Beasty, 56 for Kasva. That's an insane economy. I'm not sure how. I think Beasty must have idled his town centre pretty heavily. And we see so many villagers going out, so many villagers going down. That's part of the problem. And Kasva does break through, and Beasty calls it. Kasva takes game 1 on 4 Lakes. What a start for Kasva. He is making a name for himself. He's always been at the top of Age of Empires 4, but he's getting some big wins now. And will he be able to see this game through and this best of 3? We shall find out. Beastyqt looking to get a game back. We shall find out if he does so in the next game. Don't go anywhere. Next game coming right up. Here we are, ladies and gents, for game number 2 for this best of 3, this quarter-final matchup between Beastyqt and Kasva. Kasva taking the first game in the Holy Roman Empire mirror match on 4 Lakes. We now move on to game number 2, a Mongols mirror match, with Beastyqt playing on the east corner of the map in blue as the Mongols, as we said, and on the west corner of the map we've got Kasva playing in red as the Mongols as well. The map, I believe, is Dry Arabia. Yes, it is. And I mean, it's going to be interesting. Another mirror match to deal with here. Looking at the spawns, I mean, that's pretty important for the Mongols. Kasva is on the edge of the map, which certainly helps him in some ways, but can get pigeonholed if Beasty decides to go sort of quite forward aggression. But we do see Kasva having a nice wood line and a nice access to gold here. Looks like the Ovu is pretty far away, kind of far forward as well, which is not ideal, but you can't have everything. This is usually the case where Mongols tend to go for a close woodline and gold, and Ovu can sometimes be quite far apart, which Beasty has scouted out very nicely. Beasty's side of things is that he's moved toward, he's got his woodline, he's got his gold. Let's take a look at where his stone is at the moment. That's even further away. It is looking to be back near the edge of the map, but that is even further away, so that's a bit... I'd probably prefer Kasva's spawn as all things considered, but we shall see how this pans out. Beasty going for a barrage, looking to be aggressive. He notices that the Ovu is forward and it's going to be looked apart on the pressure. Kasva not looking to get a barracks down just yet, maybe looking to play a bit more of a safer macro approach, but that can be dangerous against the Mongols on a mirror match like this. Quite a few sheep there for Kasva to bring back home for the Khan. But yeah, all to play for. Beastyqt does need to get a game as a win because he is 1-0 down, so he'll need to even up the score with this match to push it to a game number 3. Kasva looking to get that second game, that second win for the best of 3 to progress to the semis, which we're yet to see who we'll play against. We'll be casting the next quarterfinal set straight after to find out who gets up to the semi-finals through that route. Barracks is going down for Kasva, so he's looking to match things up, and we do see quite a few sheep for both players. I feel like Kasva's got the rub of the green there. A couple more villagers, a couple more sheep rather. Beastyqt sending a villager forward. I'm not sure if Kasva actually saw that. Spearman going to support. And just looks like from the timing that Beasty's going to be pipping Kasva to the post in terms of the outpost rush. Looks like Kasva's looking to defend this. And does have 2 spearmen in defense, so this is going to be interesting. I don't think I've seen a mirror match for the Mongols all that recently. And especially in terms of how to deal with the outpost rush going. It should be like for like. It's going to come down to, I guess, a micro war. And that can be important, so defender's advantage will be there for Kasva. 4 spearmen on the field. Looking to rush down those spearmen that are coming forward for Beasty. Only 2 there, so Beasty can't really take that fight. And sheep being brought back now with the Khan. Okay, I like what Kasva's doing there. He's just stopping his Khan a little bit, getting some fires off. And now the Khan being used for Beasty as well. Scout has been joining the party. I don't think the Scout's going to add too much to the party. Oh, Kasva's going to get some bad hits by the Spearman. He's not going to want to have seen that on replay. And we do see 2 more Spearmen joining on. It's a bit of a standoff here. Another Spearman does come out for Kasva. Alright, we're going to have to keep a keen eye on this. I think the villager went back for Beasty. I don't think he can really manage an outpost rush effectively here. I don't think that villager is going to be doing too much damage. The Scout's chasing after the Khan. Right, Beasty keeping his units alive while looking to try and snipe the Khan. It's quite a good few hits on the Khan actually, to be honest. The Khan's quite low on health. The Kasva sending reinforcements in the form of spearmen. Be interesting. Could this be like an infinite spearman war? It'd be fascinating to see. Oh, Beasty's Scout's getting hit quite badly with the Scout and the Khan for Kasva. We see more spearmen arriving for Beasty. Yeah, pretty standoffish. We see a pasture being put down for Kasva, maybe looking to get up to the next stage relatively soon. But the investment in the spearmen for both players is going to be delaying the feudal age time, that's for sure. It's a fight that Kasva would win. Beasty's going to lose a Scout here unnecessarily. That's a bit rough. Kasva now does have a Scout advantage, but with so many spearmen on the field, Scouts aren't going to be useful for much other than vision. Alrighty. Kasva does look to be a bit closer on the way to the feudal age with a better food account. Looks like Beasty is still investing in spearmen. He's going pretty aggressive here on the spearmen. Yep, continuously producing. Not stopping. That could become an issue for Kasva if he does stop producing. Looks like outposts... Oh, wow, okay, that was sneaky. That outpost did go up. He's going to garrison the villager, and it feels like Kasva has enough here, though, to siege this down. Although Beasty bringing his spearmen now, it means that Beasty has a good foothold in the game now. Having that first outpost is usually the challenge. So getting that first outpost really helps now. It's going to be able to siege down the pastures. Not much Kasva can do about this apart from continues to produce. He's going to go up to the feudal age. I'm not sure if that's the play because Beasty is continuously adding spearmen, and he could just keep going adding spearmen. The feudal age will be useful for Kasva. If you get some archery ranges out, you'll be able to kite these spearmen. And that might be the way back into the game, but this wood line is starting to be harassed a little bit. The second outpost looking to go up. The villager does get sniped. I think there's a spearman actually. Villager hides back into the outpost. Villager coming back out, getting another outpost out. And this is a fight that I feel like Kasva doesn't win. He pulls back, and that's a lot of dead spearmen for Kasva. Beastyqt getting the numbers advantage, pushing ahead here, and with the Khan in play as well. But the TC does help out quite a bit. The Beasty diving a bit too far forward and losing quite a few spearmen there. That's a pretty nice pushback for Kasva. Nice micro, but still Kasva doesn't have the numbers advantage. Beasty does. Looking to siege down the pastures. Pastures being moved by Kasva. Won't want to lose that, that's for sure. But now won't have the double production of sheep, which is pretty key at this stage. Although there's plenty of sheep there for Kasva to munch on whilst he tries to recover his base. Over being put under pressure here. And it feels like the Dark Age push is actually starting to pay off for Beasty. Is he on stone? Not yet. Probably looking to get up to the next stage himself. Actually, he is on stone. He is on stone. Well, he's got the Ovu, isn't it? Obviously, he's going to get stone. Keep forgetting that detail. Obviously, the Ovu passively generates a stone, and that will help with the arrow slits upgrade in the feudal age. That's what makes the outpost rush relatively strong for the Mongols. Yeah, Beasty getting quite a lot of value here. A lot of HP lost on this Ovu. It's not something that Kasva can really repair too easily. Kasva does get to the next stage now, and we'll be able to maybe look to get an archery range down, but he's kind of struggling on the wood front. Even if he does get the archery range down, doesn't really have a huge amount of safe wood eventually. This would become a problem. Sending villagers there, I think, to snipe the outpost. He knows that there's no spearman garrison in there. That's actually a good play. He will want to get rid of this before Aristid's coming in, because Aristid's coming in will be an issue. Khan using the arrow maneuver, and the outpost will go down, but at what cost? He might lose a villager or two. But having one outpost with Aristids is much easier to deal with two. And Aristids come in just at the right time for Beasty. I'm not sure Kasva can really take this. He's going to commit though with spearmen and villagers. He's going to lose a few doing so, but this is good play by Beasty. He's got a lot of idle time. Got a couple of villagers killed as well. The outpost does go down, and this is a fight now that Kasva feels more comfortable taking. Okay, Kasva runs back with the villagers, but a lot of idle time, it has to be said. He is up to the feudal age. Kasva looking now to re-stabilize his economy. Getting an archery range, and let's just see what Beasty's doing over on his side of things, where the Ovu is. He's got any production buildings there. He's got just the barracks so far, doubling down on the barracks production, spearman production, not really transitioning at the stage. And Beasty looking just to deny the archery range. Does almost, he sets the Ovu on fire, and that's actually critical, because Beasty will get some resources from this. He'll get the raid bounty, and the archery range does go up. He's going to want to repair the Ovu though. He doesn't want to lose that for free. Still 800 odd stone there, and he will repair this, I think. Kasva. Still 200 HP on it, to be fair. Yeah, he's starting to repair it now. Okay. All in all, very nice action in the Dark Age. Now transitioning to the feudal age, both players. And archer range coming out. I expect to see a stable here for Beasty. Let's see what he's going for, though. Nothing just yet. Nothing just yet. Looking to consolidate his economy. We're looking to go for a fast castle. That's what it appears to be. Got plenty of gold, which you won't be able to spend until it gets to the castle age, really. So, yeah, looks like a fast castle build for Beasty. Kasva, similar sort of thing, maybe a bit of a stronger eco balance, although looks like maybe he's committing a bit more to the feudal age. Only one village on gold so far, sending another 2 or 3 to work his way up to the gold count he needs. Actually, a lot more villages are going now, so it looks like both players are quite happy to go to the castle age on the back of this, but the archer range is down for Kasva. Getting a couple of archers on the field, just to protect himself till he can get to the castle age. Holy smokes, that was an intense opening, the Mongols mirror on Dry Arabia. Things have certainly settled down now. But Kasva looking a bit better on the food count in terms of getting there to the castle age. I think Beasty spent a lot on spears, which did a decent amount of damage. But all in all, considering the idle time that there was for Kasva, the fact that he's kind of ahead on food count is pretty impressive. Outpost going out as well to secure his position on the Ovu. Oh, villager there being sniped by Kasva. He notices that it's going to have to keep an eye on that one. Doesn't want to let that villager roam around for free in castle age. A couple of pastures there for Beasty. Certainly more than Kasva has, but Kasva had quite a nice group of sheep. We'll probably want to get a gur there just to make the wood gathering a bit more efficient. Villager needs to be pulled back though, because it is being pressured by the Khan and spearmen. The outpost should go up, but yeah, that's not so much of a problem. The outpost should go up at this stage. Archer's looking to kite the spearmen. Khan has been killed for Beasty. That's a bit of a problem. He's going to have to wait a bit of time for that to come back. The villager just about garrisons in, and a couple of archers should snipe one of the spearmen at least. Oh, okay, yeah, it does go down. Alright, looking good. Good defense here for Kasva. He's going to run on the town centre though. Don't want to be doing that. Alright, looks like Kasva's going to get to the castle age quicker, which will certainly help his cause. It'd be interesting to see what he goes for. Does he go for man-at-arms? Does he go for lancers? It doesn't have a stable down. He's got a barracks down, so a natural transition would be man-at-arms. But they are less mobile. He's going for the step redoubt. No surprises there. Fantastic landmark for the Mongols, increasing the amount of gold dropped off by 50%. Okay, pastures going down. Kasva needs to transition to pastures, because he's going to be running out of sheep very, very soon. Ooh, okay. Double stable blacksmith going there for Beasty. Looking to double down, go for lancers when he does get to the castle age. Which is not quite yet, hasn't clicked up, but he's preparing for it. He's preparing for it. Going to be dropping the step redoubt relatively soon, I suspect. But Kasva almost there, so that's quite a lead time that he has on that. There's the step redoubt for Beasty. Right, things have really started to calm down a bit, haven't they? Kasva looking to get an outpost there just to secure his position, doesn't want to get pressured, and the new age begins. For Kasva, he's up to the castle age, and will we see any production here? Looks like he's going for upgrade to his veteran spearman, but no castle age units being used just yet. Maybe they can just scout what's going on. He sees what's there, he sees the double stable shirt, that kind of makes the reaction for the spearman. I'd be interested to see if he goes for any crossbowmen to help his cause. Go for a blacksmith as well. And he's putting pressure on the Aoe4. If you can take care of this Aoe4, he probably won't. He's only got 2 spearmen and the outpost there for Beasty, doing good work against that. An outpost there in the middle of the map for Beasty, just to keep an eye on things to see what's coming his way. With Aristots as well, is very notable. Beastyqt now gets to the castle age himself, and will start to produce those lances, I suspect. Yeah, lances on the field, double production because of the Aoe4. And it means that Beasty is going to be being the aggressor again, once again, it seems, in the castle age, with Kasva looking to play a bit more defensive with the spearman player. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I feel like I would love to be, if I had a choice, be the cav player with the lancers as opposed to the spearman player for defending, because of their mobility with good micro, you can take cost-effective fights, pick off villages here and there. Spearman is just a different ball game. A second archery range going down for Kasva, looking to transition to the crossbows to protect himself against the lancers. I feel like the crossbows are a nicer unit for countering the knights or the lancers. They can be static in your base and just push away knights that might be coming in. Prayer tent going up for Beastyqt. Beasty doing beasty things, going for those relics. He loves getting those relics, and no matter what civ, he always does this. Nice way to play the late game. It definitely is an eco boost, having that continuous trickle of relic gold. See a couple of crossbowmen on the field with some spearmen. Beastyqt will be losing a spearman there, and overall good fight here for Kasva. Denies that tower, which is particularly important. But there are some lancers heading in, charging in. Just one crossbowman is not going to cut it here. Kasva is a little bit vulnerable, doesn't really have the army where he needs to be, and this just comes down to the mobility of the army again. Prayer tent is up for Kasva, so he's looking to get some relics himself, but the issue for Kasva is that he doesn't have the mobility on the map, whereas Beasty does. He can hide those lancers, get them quick time on the relics and pick them up, and even snipe the monks if he wants to, the shaman. Speaking of shaman, one does pop out for Kasva. Not waypointed there yet, so it's kind of idle, which is not ideal for him. A shaman does come out for Beasty, looking to pick up some relics here. I think he's going for the corner north one, the one that's relatively far away. A shaman for Kasva, going to pick up the nearest one, it seems. Lancers are diving in, going to pick off the, or look to pick off the crossbow. Doesn't quite manage it, getting some free hits now, Kasva is, and that's going to be good for him. Might snipe a knight there, just about, possibly. Can't quite get in range. Oh, but a bit of pathing there. No, doesn't still quite manage it. Okay, he's actually going for the sacred. Oh no, he's just going past the sacred site. So Kasva will know about that now. Might send a unit or two there, but which we'll see because he's kind of focusing on the fight here. Freelancer's just running around, can back off from the fight. There we are, the arrow maneuver. Signal for the Khan means that Beastyqt will get away quite comfortably. Second town center going down for Kasva. But looking to play the eco approach, and no such thing for Beasty. That could be an issue because the Mongols do pack a punch when they're aggressive, and so 2 town centers, he's going to need to defend himself well, Kasva, to be able to make that count in the late game. Take some time for the eco to really kind of factor in and give him a power spike that he so badly wants with that bolstered economy with villager count. 77 population, 48 villagers for Kasva, 45 for Beasty. So Kasva starting to pull ahead a little bit in a village count. He's also actually healing up his villagers as well, which is a nice touch in case he's at risk of being raided. Sending his shaman out there. Over depleted for Kasva. We'll need to relocate that somewhere else. And it's kind of a bit tricky for him actually for the stone. Both stones are forward, so there is an outpost there for Beastyqt. That's actually where he's pushing, so he might need to go for the stone here. I think this is nice play by Beasty, getting map vision with the outposts, making sure that he denies Kasva key resources. Lance is diving in, picking off the shaman that's looking to get the relic. Despite, yep, okay, good protection there for Kasva there. They're looking to really contest the relics quite hotly here. One relic is in play for Kasva in the prayer tent, 2 for Beasty, and I think a couple more on the way. Beasty is looking to really get those relics in nice and early. This is an issue here because Beasty is reinforcing his army and is going to look to get some map control here. Kasva doesn't really have the military presence on the field that he would want. 35 on the field, 28 for Beasty. It's just that it feels like Kasva's army is pretty split into two, and that's not ideal when you're taking an engagement like this. Kasva will not want to take this engagement. Beasty certainly will. And the trouble is that Kasva can't really run away from this. Beasty will push the issue. He's got the mobility, he's got the archer, he's got the range. And yeah, Kasva's going to lose a lot here. One Lancer does go down to the Spearman though. Does get snared, but the army gets cleaned up pretty quickly though. This is an issue now because the military count is going to be pretty low for Kasva. 27 for Kasva, 32 for Beasty. Beasty taking a really good fight there. Slowly but surely though, the economy really starting to build up for Kasva. 51 economy for Beasty, 58 for Kasva. But the sacred sites is certainly going to help things, especially the relics as well. 3 relics in for Beasty, 2 sacred sites. Looking strong here, Beasty, the economy, because, you know, that more than compensates for the villager discrepancy. But as the game goes on, that villager discrepancy will start to increase. Oh, Lancers wrap around the town centre. We're picking off a couple of villagers on the wood line, but we're taking a lot of arrow fire, but they don't mind too much. These arrow fire just tickle these knights. One knight does go down though. Yeah, and here we are. The Ovu is on the north corner of the map, but Beasty sees that and already springled emplacement, and the outpost will slowly but surely chip away at that. Gold being denied here for Beasty, for Kasva rather, by Beasty. Villagers trying to garrison in, not enough space in that outpost, and the knight won't be able to get too much more value. The town centre will be garrisoned, but the idle time caused by one knight is pretty extensive here. That's quite a lot of idle time. 12 villagers completely idle for a good few seconds there. Kasva really starting to mass up now, getting some mangonels on the field. Mangonel's a bit of an odd option. He's going for the archers, I suspect, to counter those, but there are knights there that will just torch those down, so 3 mangonels really being taken out. That's a bit rough, has to be said. Feels like horseman spearman might be the option, but we shall see how this one pans out. A couple of crossbowmen will do decent against the knights, but the archers here, the archer mass of Beastyqt will counter the crossbowmen. And it feels like Beastyqt getting a strong hold on this game. Military count now 30 for Kasva. 36 for Beasty. Beasty just seems to have... No, that doesn't make sense yet. 45 for Beasty. It just felt like Beasty had a lot of military on the field. And he's got 3 sacred sites now. Gold income is going to be insane for Beasty, that is for sure. Let's take a look at that. 15 villagers on gold here for Kasva. 10 for Beasty, but just take a look at that gold income. Gold is super high for Beasty. Could even buy resources using the market if he so wishes. But we shall see. I probably look to spend quite a lot of gold on the siege. Kasva doubling down on mangonels, another one coming on the way, looking to siege down the outpost, but Beasty looking to repair that up. Kasva looking to move forward with a mangonel to snipe that villager. But there are Springles on the field now, so Springles will look to damage that mangonel. Can snipe it possibly? No, just manages to pull away. No villagers on hand though for Kasva to repair that. And Kasva now sending in the man-at-arms to take down the siege, but there's a lot of army here for Beasty, it has to be said. It looks like Beasty's going to charge in. Take care of the man-at-arms. They're going to be riding into their death, and the crossbows will focus fire on the knights. Knights taking a relatively bad trade against the spearmen, but there are archers behind, and there it is. Kasva calls it. He knows it's behind. The military count just too high for Beasty. Beasty evens out the set, pushes it to a game 3 in this best of 3, and it's all going down to the wire to see who gets up to the semi-finals. Guys, don't go anywhere. Next game coming right up. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 3 between Beasty and Kasva. The winner here goes on to the semi-finals for the road to Redbull Wololo Legacy, week number 3. The map is Frisian Marshes, one of my favourite maps rather. So this could become one of my favourite matches even, with Beastyqt playing in blue here on the east corner of the map as the French. And in the south corner of the map, we've got Kasva playing in red as the Rus. Interesting Civ matchup. I would be interested to see if Kasva goes for an outpost rush or a wooden fortress rush with the Rus. That could be an interesting strategy, and we do know that Kasva, I mean, it fits with his personality style of player, it seems. But we shall see how he decides to play this one. It's a big high stakes game. As you can see, he's getting scouts on the field, as you do with the Rus to try and get the bounty. Beastyqt going to gold relatively quickly, and I think that has to be the meta really at this point, going to gold quickly, because if this gets denied, things can become very sticky, and the gold on maps like Frisian Marshes are so far forward and very vulnerable. They're looking to get that gold income very, very fast there. It looks like Beastie looking to get to the feudalage. We can get those Royal Knights out on the field. A lot of sheep coming out for Beastie. That's plenty of sheep they'll be able to bring back home. Certainly good things for the French. So this is interesting because, of course, the Rus want the bounty. And there comes a point where you start to think, well, how much shall I trade in terms of scouting for sheep versus bounty? Because as you can see, Beastie, well, he's doing both. He's getting wolves and sheep. So Beastie doing fantastically well with the sheep count there. 4 villagers on gold, being harassed here just by the one scout for Kasva. Won't be able to do too much damage rather than just being a nuisance. But yeah, keeping hold of the wolves there, Beastie. Pathing issues, bit of a bother for him there. But he will be going up to the next stage now with no doubt the School of Cavalry. We shall see where he's placed that down. He has placed it down next to the town centre, as you'd expect. Kasva, a little bit far away from that, though. A little bit far away from the next stage. Got a lot of sheep himself, though. Very nice there. 3 wolves as well to add to the mix. But yeah, severely lacking the food there because of the scout costs. 4 scouts there. Kasva really investing quite heavily there. Looking to snipe some villagers, but won't be able to deny the age up, but might be able to deny a knight coming out. Beastie has only 80 gold, so 4 scouts there, still looking to harass the villagers, forcing them back home. And yeah, this is interesting. 5 scouts, so super 6. Holy smokes! Kasva really going aggressive on the scouts. That's why he doesn't have the food. 6 scouts on the field, looking to deny that gold, and he will deny the gold. That's important. So it means the School of Cavalry will be able to pump out maybe, well, nothing at this point. Will struggle to get too much out of that School of Cavalry. He's looking just to hold off the scouts. He's only got 2 scouts, one of them very, very weak. Kasva continues to add, I mean, he's just continues to adding scouts here. It's kind of nuts. He's getting wheelbarrow now, though. Alright, looks like Beastyqt trying to get an outpost up. 7 scouts there. The outpost probably will go up, but not without casualties, it seems. There are 2 scouts there for Beastie looking to harass as well. And now the age up will be coming out of Kasva, going up with the Golden Gate, as you'd expect. I think Kasva loses a scout there, which is pretty rough. So the outpost will go up. So now Beastie has committed, but I mean, I don't know, that's a lot of scouts to have invested. Quite a lot of food. Beastyqt does now reach the feudalage, so it's only delayed his knight only slightly. I'm sure a knight will be coming out relatively soon for Beastyqt. Only 4 villagers on gold though, so looking maybe more for a macro approach, going for a mill or wheelbarrow, I suspect. Golden 8 being rushed up by 7 villagers, getting the wooden fortress as well, which will certainly help with the wood economy for Kasva. It increases the wood by 20%. The villagers return 20% more wood. Lots of sheep there for both players, to be fair. Alrighty, there's a lot of scouts there from Kasva, wasn't it? Okay, Royal Knight being queued up for the French, looking to harass the gold line for Kasva. He's not actually on gold, actually, to be fair. He won't need the gold because of the bounty system. But he may want to invest in some spears because knights will be coming his way relatively soon. He is to the feudalage now. One other option is actually buying a second town centre, buying stone, using the Golden Gate. That could be an interesting shout, but he will need to be careful in doing that too prematurely. He's going for the barracks instead. Is certainly the right play. You want the spearmen there to defend your army, your position, especially with the French Royal Knights coming in. Okay, let's see what Beastyqt is doing. Maybe he's thinking about second town centre himself, or maybe just going for feudalage aggression. I suspect this could be the latter, because obviously this map being relatively open and with resources being very vulnerable, aggression does seem to be rewarded quite highly on this map. Okay, we slowly start to see spearmen being queued up for Kasva. Right, scouts keeping an eye on things. Doesn't want to be caught out here. Spearmen now are on the field. Yeah, Royal Knight not been able to do too much damage. It seems like he's actually kind of mostly scouting, to be honest. Yep, 2 knights on the field. gold, yeah. Looks like Beastyqt going quite heavy on the gold, so looking to continue the knight production, adding an archery range for follow-up to deal with the spears. That kind of typical combination for the French, going knights and archers. If Beasty is let kind of freely doing that, that's going to be an issue for Kasva. Kasva are very much on the defensive now. Alright. Third and final game, guys. The winner of this will progress to the semi-finals. Stone being mined by Beasty, maybe looking for some arrow slips upgrade, maybe looking slowly for a second town center, we shall see. Villagers going out for Kasva. Looks like it'll be interesting to see what he's doing with this. Maybe he's buying, I don't know what he's doing with this, because he doesn't have the gold to be able to buy the stone for a second town center. Maybe looking to get a wooden fortress. Oh, he probably put the foundation. Okay, that makes sense. Makes sense. Okay. But there are two knights there. Spearmen, brace yourselves. Do some damage, please. And yeah, town center in a nice spot here between the two shorefishes. Now, Beasty might need to consider being super aggressive here because, I mean, he could make Kasva pay for this. It could put some pressure on him. The town center works faster for the French, so being 2 town centers to 1 is not as drastically bad as it would be for other civilization matchups. And with the knights on the field and archers coming out, maybe teching into siege engineer and ramming this down could be a play here. We shall see if Beastyqt does go for a second town center himself. It doesn't seem to be on the stone. He went for the stone for the arrow slits, it appears. Although maybe he did go for a second town center. Did he collect enough there? I didn't quite catch that. It doesn't seem like it at this stage. Right, quite a lot of army here. In the form of spearmen for Kasva. I'm looking to just push these knights back away. And slowly but surely, Beasty is building up the army. 11 military on the field for Kasva, 11 for Beasty. That's actually rather surprising, but it has to be borne in mind that knights are significantly more expensive than anything that Kasva has at the point. So using the charge attack? No, not even using the charge attack. Kasva gets some good free hits, but chivalry will be helpful to build these back up. Maybe trying to bait him into the stealth forest, because Beasty does have a couple of archers there. That could do some damage against the spearmen. Wooden fortress there, put on the app on this area here just to offer some protection. Nice, sweeping around the right, looking to get some damage on the wood line, but the wooden fortress is there on hand. Villagers going to garrison themselves in there, but the knight's doing well to keep the eco idled. That's important for sure. And as you can see, Beasty doubling down in feudal age, being aggressive. Feudal age is certainly where the French shine. And Beasty looking to make use of that advantage. Villagers going out now for Beasty. Looking to secure some shorefish there with a mill. Okay, a lot of food there. Still to be had there for Kasva. Knights again sweeping around, looking to idle the economy somewhat. An outpost going there for Beasty. That's actually a very nice spot. Because this outpost, if it gets arrow slits, and he has enough stone for it, he'll actually be able to pick off some reinforcements, and it offers him a staging ground to start fighting from. Quite a few horsemen there on the field there for Kasva. I like the army composition, horsemen, spearmen, but the archers are being wrapped around, but the horsemen not engaging really. The knights are protecting the archers. The knights surround the archers and offer a really good meat shield. The villager is still hammering away at the outpost. Will he get it up? I think the villager does it. I think the villager builds the outpost. There's only a scout on the villager. That's a bit of an oversight for Kasva that he lets that go up. But he does let it go up. And we're probably going to see arrow slips queued up there. And we do. We see arrow slips queued up immediately. That is fine margins, guys. That outpost feels like it really should never have gone up. And Beastyqt can now push from this stage. He's got some knights. He's got archers. He's got rams on the way. Only horsemen and spearmen for Kasva. It feels like, you know, we kind of want this army composition better, the knights and the archers, over the horsemen and the spearmen. It feels like Kasva now getting another wooden fortress, looking to defend this position. He's going to have to. It'd be interesting to see if he gets some stone to be able to get some emplacements here. Some arrow slits, perhaps. Double archery range on the field. For Beasty. Piling on the pressure in field age, the ram is now starting to make its way forward. It will be sieged down by villagers if he's not careful, but he's going to have his knights circling in. Brings the ram back. He's paying attention, guys. Archers looking to pick some villagers if they do decide to start sieging down the ram. And this is huge because a large chunk of Kasva's economy is totally idle now. And he's starting to build up some spearmen and horsemen. He's going to need that coming in quick time because he doesn't want his economy idle too quickly. Villagers going to start sieging down the ram. One villager does get picked apart by the archers, and this is an issue for Kasva. As soon as he ungarrisons those villagers, those archers will be on hand to take them down. Alright, again, piling on the pressure. Villagers come out to siege the rams. Archers move forward, going to get some picks here on the horsemen. Can't really one-shot them, probably two-shots them, three-shots them, really. Knight's going to start cycling around, maybe get some charge attacks, that'll be useful. Villagers garrison back in and a lot of idle time. The ram does go down, but I'm sure Beastyqt is happy with that investment. Another outpost going down for Beastyqt, doing an outpost crawl with the arrow slits and placement, and also the upgrade to fortify that. That's going to be making that position very solid for Beasty. Archers now focus firing on the spearmen. That's actually nice picks there for Beasty, and the horsemen have to shed back. And this is where the army composition is so much nicer when you have ranged units. It's kind of like, well, Kasva has to make a decision, and if he doesn't make it quick enough, he will lose units. He either dives, takes a fight, or he backs off. Beasty's the one that can dictate the tempo of the fight with the archers in the mix. You see another outpost going up and really surrounding, cutting off the secondary base from the primary base for Kasva, and that's a huge issue. The knights can feel quite comfortable diving this with a chivalry upgrade, being able to heal them up as they back away. And Beasty probably not too far behind on village count, 47 for Kasva, 47 for Beasty. So second town centre not really helping Kasva all that much. In fact, anything is just helping him keep up for Beasty's village count, because the town centre is working faster for the French. Ram is going forward now. Beastyqt is soon to be able to afford a second ram. And the villagers are gathering the back shorefish there, though, which will be helpful for Kasva. We don't see the army that he would want to have here. Knight's going to sweep in, look to charge attack any villagers that decide to pop out. Archers in, on hand to snipe any villagers that look to siege down the rams. Okay, army has been built up quite nicely for Kasva there with spearmen and archers. Sorry, spearmen and horsemen. Now looking to go forward. There's only one villager garrison in that fortress. That fortress will go down. You see a couple of carcasses of knights. Beasty looking to mic this back and save this knight, let it heal up with chivalry. Villagers going down to the charge attack. This is looking rough for Kasva, has to be said. Ram there in position. Beasty looking in a strong position. Second ram out, archers in behind. It feels to be a very rough spot for Kasva. Looking to siege down that ram, and probably will do so, but not without villagers lost. I think one or two villagers may have died there to the archers. The ram stays alive. Two rams on that town centre, and this town centre goes down, then there's going to be another 10 villagers lost. And this is looking rough for Kasva, because there's arrow slits in the outpost, and Kasva can't even engage a fight without taking losses here. Looks like he's had enough. Looks like he's taking a fight. The charge attack does get off on that horseman mass. Spearman looking to put some pressure. Kasva pushing this back though, looking to siege down the... actually he's going to go back onto food with the villagers. But I'm not sure if he has enough here. Kasva going to lose a lot of army. Trying to wrap around with the horsemen. Spearman looking to do damage, but really the knights are in position here. This looks like a bad fight for Kasva. Underneath the outpost as well with arrow slits. I think Beast is going to take this set. He's going to take the third game, and once he clears this up, be looking in prime position. Archers focus firing on the spearmen. It feels like all but lost here for Kasva. I'm not sure if he comes back from this. This is looking super rough. Kasva down to 4 military, 26 of Beasty. I think this game is over. Kasva just wasn't able to make this count, this economy approach, and Beasty in pole position now with the military advantage, going to just pile on pressure now. There's no army here for Kasva to defend himself, and with the outposts there in prime positions for Beasty, he's got a full lock on this game. He might throw away a ram or two though with the villagers there. Archers are preoccupied by building another ram. Our ram is being pulled back now. Knight's going to charge attack into the villagers. Might be a couple of dead villagers there. No, the villagers just about garrison in, but every villager that's garrisoned in is an idle villager. Villagers do pop out, going to snipe the ram, and the knights aren't quick enough to respond. But another ram gets built just as the other one gets destroyed. Going to keep on the pressure and the tempo of the fight for Beasty here. Looking to be a very rough position for Kasva. He's holding on. This is the last game. This is the way. This is the ticket to the semi-finals. You can't blame for Kasva for keeping on going. With 8 military versus 37, this is looking pretty rough. Charge attack on the town centre. Kasva looking to repair the town centre with the villagers. Villagers will be going down, and they do garrison in, but not without losses, and the ram is there again. A second ram being built here for Beasty. Beasty looking in a strong position. Villagers do wrap around and manage to get some hits on the ram, but the knights are there waiting, and the archers are there now. Beasty is diving. He smells blood. He's going to look to take down the second town centre, and once he does, there'll be 10 more villagers dying. Beasty's economy pretty safe here. Chipping away, getting those resources. Villagers are out now looking to take down the rams, but the villagers will be sniped by the knights and the archers. And one ram does go down, but that town center is on fire. It's not going to be saved. Villagers are going to be dying here en masse. And there they are. That could spell the end of it. I think Kasva is in a rough spot. Second base is going down. Village count 43 for Kasva, 58 for Beasty. And villagers making one last stand on that ram. Kasva pigeonholed in his base right now because of the outpost creep. And yeah, looking rough. Beasty with a really strong performance on this last game of Frisian Marshes in Feud Age. And there it is. Kasva taps out. Beastyqt progresses to the semi-finals of the road to Redbull Wololo. Commiserations to Kasva. Very well played to Beastyqt. We shall be seeing who Beastyqt will play in the semi-finals, depending on who wins the next set. That'll be coming up right next. Hut versus Puppypaw. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, the fourth quarterfinal set between Hut versus Puppypaw, the winner of whom will go on to the semi-finals to face up against Beastyqt. This is going to be a banger of a fight, I can feel it. Puppypaw playing in blue as the Chinese on the southwest corner of the map. On the northeast corner of the map, we've got Hut playing in red as the French. The map is 4 lakes, as we've come accustomed to on this map, on this quarterfinals of the road to Redbull Wololo. This is a fantastic map. It's really growing on me. I don't think we've seen Chinese just yet, so this will be an interesting pick. We see French for Hut, obviously a very strong civilization on this map with the feudal age aggression. Strong on any map, to be honest, it seems. Chinese, be interesting to see what Puppypaw decides to do. He's a relatively aggressive player, or at least he's known to be. We've seen him do an outpost rush here and there. Could we see the same for the Chinese here? Could we see a Barbican rush? We shall see. Going quite heavy on wood though, so probably not. Let's go for a dock there. As you'd expect on 4 lakes. Dock is up for Hut as well. Alright, 2 scouts there on the field, I think, there for Hut, as you'd expect, playing as the French. They need that food income in the early game, but they could be focusing it on fish, so I'm not too sure if I do see the second scout. I think that's just the first one, actually. I think it might just be 1 scout play for both players, it seems. It seems so. Yep, just 1 scout for Puppypaw. Actually, no, that's not correct. Two scouts for Puppypaw, playing as a Chinese. And no, it is 2 scouts each. It is 2 scouts each for Puppypaw and Hut. Looking to get those sheep in. Certainly a safe source of food. Both players, it'd be interesting to see if either player goes to harass the dock. As I say that, the scout looks to be going forward there, Puppypaw, looking to harass that dock. Yeah, just going to be a nuisance there. Puppypaw bringing his mass number of sheep back to the town centre, back to the mill actually. I suspect that's going to be supervised relatively soon by an Imperial official. It hasn't been just yet, so it's an interesting build for Puppypaw. Usually Imperial official is one of the first things that comes out. Just that Puppypaw is focusing on the wood economy for now to get the fishing ships out. But yeah, I mean, this is an interesting build. We're going to have to maybe look at this at another time and break it down a little, because it's only now that he's going for the Imperial official. 3.5 minutes into the game. Interesting. And we do see a good number of fishing ships though on the field for Hut, but more there for Puppy. Alright, barracks going down for Puppypaw in the Dark Age. Could still see a outpost rush, you know. Could still be on the cards, getting a barracks down this early. But it might be that he's just preparing to, because he's worried about maybe a fast feudal age time for Hut. Although probably unlikely, seeing he's got a dock there. I do have to invest quite a lot of wood into the dock, so naturally the feudal age time is going to be rather limited. Looks like actually the barracks is going to be something a little bit more interesting. Spearmen going to be coming out to pressure the dock, I suspect, using the siege and the torch damage that they can get, slowly trickling in those spearmen. That's quite a nice touch actually, because the spearmen will counter the scout. Another villager going there for Hut, maybe going for the western lake. We shall see. Sometimes the villagers are used to wall up the base as well, so really sneaking around Maybe, yeah, starting those walls there. Scout for Puppypaw, looking just to harass the villagers on gold. That hut has 4 villagers there so far. Probably soon to be 3 because it's going to have to pull those back. Force drop off there for a hut, looking to get maybe another fishing ship. Queued up, possibly. Looking to get wheelbarrow actually as well. And there is the fuel age time going up with the School of Cavalry, I would have thought. Let's just double check, confirm. I'd be so surprised if not. An outpost going up for hut, looking to protect that that dock, and that's actually a nice move to save that. There we have it, the School of Cavalry. As we'd expect, they're being built by 3 villagers by hut. That villager is being harassed now. I think he was actually I think he managed to get that wall up actually, and this is a cliff, so the rest of the walls would be relatively easy to do if it wasn't for all this army in the way. Right, Puppypaw has actually severely delayed his uptime, that's for sure, because he spent a lot of food on those spearmen. Continues to produce a spearman, so he's not going to get to the fuel age for quite some time. Might even lose a spearman or 2 to the outpost. And there is a villager repairing the dock. It looks like it's losing HP quicker than it's being repaired though. Just about. Not by much though, so it'll be taking a long time. Especially because the outpost is actually ranging the scout. Puppypaw might lose a scout and he's quite far behind now, stuck in Dark Age. Although he has plenty of food, just not enough gold at this point, not collected enough tax. Gonna send the villagers forward now, looking to do a, I think it's Barbican rush. I think it's a Barbican drop. Seems like it. Depends where he's going to put it. Maybe on the gold, I suspect. He's keeping a spearman there. That's what makes me think of that. He's going for the Barbican the Sun there. Or maybe not. Where did those villagers go? No, he didn't. Okay, it's not Barbican the Sun. But it is Barbican the Sun, not a forward drop. I got a bit excited there. You know, you love to see those kind of plays. Looks like he's actually going to place a defensive Barbican in the Sun, and not a bad position. There's a lot of resources here, guys. Holy smoke. 4 gold veins and 3 berry batches. This will certainly help protect 2 of the gold veins. And that's going to be something important that he's going to need to expand out to. So not a, yeah, that's a nice placement. Nice placement. It's going for a second town centre as well. Maybe 2 TC Song Dynasty, perhaps. We shall see. We shall see. Hut now. Getting a couple of knights out. Needs to be careful about not running into spearmen. There is the fuel age for the Chinese. Sending a lot of villagers on stone, it seems. Is quite keen on getting that second town centre as soon as possible. And that makes sense because you want to catch up on the villager count. It will be behind slightly. 45 population, that's 36 villagers, 39 for Hart. Not all that much of a difference, but as time progresses, just 1 town centre for the French will outproduce the 1 town centre for the Chinese. So that second town centre will certainly help things. So we shall see if Hut's looking to be on stone at all for a second town centre. Doesn't appear so. Looks like Hut's going to be relatively aggressive in terms of plays, continuing to produce those knights. And he's getting archers, double archery range, so it's that typical army composition for the French, knights and archers on the field. It looks like Puppypaw looking to wall up that left side to protect his economy, but that'd be quite nice actually for fishing, because he'd be able to get a dock here as well if he needs to. He needs to be under a bit of pressure. He's going to be under pressure here, so he needs to be a bit careful. A nice wall across here would be quite good actually. He's going to be looking to full wall himself, looking to play the game a bit late if he can. We shall see how Hut reacts to that, because he does have vision there with some scouts, bringing them further forward. Knight's looking to do some raiding, I suspect. Neither player going for more than 1 dock so far. Knights are looking just to dive the woodline a little bit. The stable is starting to produce horsemen, so horseman spearman is the army composition for Puppypaw. Where have we seen this before? It's quite a common army composition that we find. The French going for knights and archers, and the opponent going for horseman spears. Army count starting to build up for Hut, but Puppypaw matching him pretty nicely on the military count. But the obviously the army for Hut is a lot more expensive than the knights, and 2 town centres going down now. Poor Puppypaw spent all the food that he has. We see the charge attack going off on the horseman there. Hut just biding his time. Continues to produce military quite nicely. Knights there. Looks like he's going to go relatively aggressive feudal age. Outpost going up for Puppypaw to defend that position, which is still not walled. Now that's the part that he's keeping open, it seems. And with Spearmen in defense, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Hut looking to make an entrance for himself there on the west side by sieging down by the 3 knights. Spearmen might be pulled into position because he will be open, but there is a Barbican of the Sun protecting that position. But still, having knights running in your base is not something that you'd want generally. A couple of horsemen on Hut's gold vein. This is quite a nice loop around there with a villager pick. Should be villager snipe here maybe. Oh, just gets away with it. Skin of the teeth. And horsemen get a lot of damage here with the arrow fire. Hunt has broken through, but uses it as a bit of a debate. Breaks the walls and then backs off again. Because he knows he's probably got something waiting for him. Alright, Puppypaw really doubling down on his production here. Horseman and Spearman. Sending the army forward. An outpost going there for Hut. A very nice position here actually. That will deny a significant proportion of that wood line. And that will go up as well. So there's not much that Puppypaw can do to deny that. That's actually pretty impressive. Pretty important. But Hut does lose a knight for free. Or gets stunned actually. Doesn't lose it. The archers in behind looking to snipe the Spearmen. Just not enough horsemen there on the field for Puppypaw to take a meaningful engagement. So Hut can dictate the power and the pace of the game. Getting another outpost as well. Looking to possibly get arrow slits. Yep, arrow slits is queued up, so we'll be denying that wood line relatively shortly. And now Puppypaw has to move over to the western wood line. Getting in the Imperial Academy for the Song Dynasty. Village count now looking 49 for Hut, 56 for Puppypaw. So the longer the game goes on, it does look like it's going to be a stronger position for Puppypaw. Hut will need to react to that and actually pile on the pressure. And it feels like the feudal age aggression for Puppypaw it's not really as strong as the French is, and the French is going to start pushing in. Going to look to take down the outpost, maybe snipe a horseman or two that come out. Another outpost being put on that wood line. But if Puppypaw gets this wood line denied, this is going to be huge. Knight's going to rush in, going to get a charge attack, going to get some villagers. Gets one, and the Song Dynasty is in, but Spearman getting picked off by the archers, not what he would want, Puppypaw. And Imperial Official almost goes down, but the scout does get picked off before the Imperial Official goes down. Villager's going to build an outpost for Hut now. That's a nice position for him to push on forward. And he's going to be outposting this wood line as well. Puppypaw really kind of trapped at this point. Hut has got a lot of map control. Puppypaw going to struggle to push out from here. He's going to need to recover and regroup and have a massive force of army to push this. But I don't think it's going to be very easy with 2 town centre Song Dynasty. A lot of the food will be soaked up in there. I think if you're Puppypaw, you kind of have to stop producing villagers at this point. We shall see if that's what he decides to do, because he has at 62 villagers. Hut at 52, but with the rate of production and the food cost that's going into this, it's going to be hard to maintain military presence, especially when your opponent's on 1 town centre continuously producing. Now with 2 stables, effectively the school of cavalry and a stable there, and go for a blacksmith as well for the upgrades. So bloomery will be coming in for free for the knights, which will be very, very nice as an additional attack bonus. Puppypaw looking to go on the left side for the wood. And now Hut looking to siege down. There's no overchop, going to siege down that wall, the palisade walls. Outpost going around all around that wood line. Puppypaw going to struggle for wood here. He's going to the castle age though with an astronomical clock tower. That could offer him a way back into the game by up-teching his units. The problem for him is that this stage the army numbers for Hut is so strong that he might be under pressure before he can get enough units out. Castle age does come in for the Chinese played by Puppypaw though. So Hut may decide to do one of 2 things. May decide to go to Castle Age himself, or double down in the feudal aggression. He's going to send villagers forward, get an outpost there. That will keep Puppypaw open quite significantly. Although there is the Barbican of the Sun there, which certainly helps his defense. Oh yeah, we see the outpost being fortified as well. Really bolstering that position. Yeah, Puppypaw is struggling now for wood, doesn't have access to a safe wood line. This is actually a huge issue, because he's going to have to focus on gold and food units, and once the food is out, he'll be stuck. He does have access to a lot of fish though, so food income is not going to be too terrible for him, but it's the wood income that you might need a little bit later in the game that he'll struggle with. A lot of villagers on gold, so food and gold units, lancers are on the menu for the Chinese it seems. Feels like man-at-arms might be a good option as well, because not so much that Hut can counter man-at-arms with, apart from his own knights, but doesn't have access to crossbows. That's the key thing. Yeah, all these outposts being upgraded offering so much map control and vision. Hut really building up the numbers as well. Puppypaw 21 military, 42 for Hut, and this is really bearing down to the fact that there's only 79 villages. There's 79 villages for Puppypaw, only 58 for the Hut. All that food that's been spent on villagers for Puppypaw will take a long time to have a return on investment, whereas Hut has invested that straight into the military and maybe even look to dive in pretty soon with these knights. But we shall see if he's going to wait for some rams, some siege engineering, or go up to the castle age himself. It doesn't seem like he's aiming for the castle age, looking like he's doubling down on feudal age. Puppypaw got plenty of villages on gold, supervision as well on that mining camp. Okay, this is where Puppypaw tries an expansion. Now, Hut doesn't actually have an outpost here, but he sees what's happening and suspects somehow. He knows that something's up. Puppypaw looking to expand. He needs a safe woodline. He's looking to expand on this right woodline. Very exposed, though. There are a couple of spearmen there, so knights won't be able to take too great an impact on their own, but the archers following them up will certainly make a big difference. Alright, most of the attacking is down here on Puppypaw side of things. Not much raiding coming in. Well, there is a little bit of raiding. A couple of horsemen there sent by Puppypaw to do some damage. Hut is aware of it. Brings the villagers back home. Has an early knight there, a royal knight there to put some pressure. Knights are going to charge in, take a fight against the lancers. There's quite a lot of army here. It feels like the lancers, of course, have to take advantage. You won't want to charge into the spearmen though. Those are veteran spearmen. Those are no joke. The archer's going to do good work against the veteran spearmen though. The knight's out of position for Hut. Needs to take down the lancers. Villagers running around like mad people. And yeah, the numbers here for Hut just overwhelming things. Puppypaw losing a lot of army here, despite it being Castle Age army. Archers are tickling the knights, but it's the knights versus knights. Even though that these are royal knights and not veteran, as in they're not just normal knights because of Hut being in the feudal age. The lancers aren't enough in numbers, and now Hut takes a really favourable fight. Numbers beat the upgrades here in this scenario, and Hut can really start to push in. Puppypaw under a lot of pressure. I'm not sure he's going to be able to see this one out. Despite having 91 villagers, a 40 villager lead advantage, he only has 5 military on the field, 38 for Hut. And the military issue is a massive thing, because Puppypaw is going to lose access to his food income once he loses the dock there. He has docked on the left side, which is certainly helpful, but it's not going to be enough here. And hardly any fishing ships on that left side, the left leg, and this dock going down is going to be bad news for Puppypaw. He's starting to mass up a good number of lancers and palace guards rather, which is only going to help his cause, but he's rushing in. I don't think he has enough there. There's enough of royal knights there to deal with this. Lancers let's get picked off for Puppypaw, just trickling them in, not taking an effective fight here. That wasn't the timing that he needed, and it feels like Hut is having a really good advantage here, pushing into the base, deep into the base of Puppypaw. Those knights are looking menacing. There's just not enough army here for Puppypaw. Has to migrate now with his stone, his gold rather, and his stone here. Could possibly afford a keep, but if he does decide to place that, he's going to decide to place that. That's going to be a doubt keep. That's not going to go up. A lot of knights there, a lot of archers. I mean, it might go up just about because of the Chinese villagers, but he's going to lose a lot of villagers doing this. And this could be the GG. I don't think Puppypaw can take this. Ooh, this is a very, very costly engagement for Puppypaw. Hut won't mind about losing army here. The keep does go up. There are Chinese villagers, I suppose, in the end that make sure that goes up, but there was a lot of dead villagers there. Now Hut can just walk away and put some pressure. He's going to get an outpost here as well to deny that gold and stone. And Hut's playing this incredibly well with a forward aggression. Right, let's just see. If Puppypaw can hold on, that could be his way back into the game, but he'll need to hold on significantly and build up a large army. He's sending more villagers on the right side now, looking to move out, but there is an outpost there for Hut. So Puppypaw feels probably quite restricted at this point, probably feels quite suffocated. Knights are cycling back around, maybe looking to get some snipes on the villagers, using the charge attack. Just charge in and walk away, charge in and walk away. Quite happy to take some fire from the keep and the Barbican and the Sun when he kills that many villagers. And the second outpost goes up, Hut looking in strong position, map control is certainly in his favour. Aristot's coming in as well, a third outpost. That will be ranged by the keep though, but still a nice spot for an outpost there. On the right side, villagers are trying to circle around and get some foothold in the game for another dock it seems, but Aristot's coming in for these outposts for Hut, coming in clutch. Yep, Hut seems to be definitely in the ascendancy here. 14 military for Puppypaw, 43 for Hut, outposts at left, right and centre. Puppypaw just probably can't feel like he can breathe. He's got a ram battering down his Barbican in the Sun as well. And this is looking rough for Puppypaw. Hut looking strong in the first game of this best of 3. May just be doing enough here to pull out a win against Puppypaw. Yeah. Hut really massing up army now behind the Barbican and Sun. Village is going to look to take down the ram, but they're going to be picked off by the archers and the knights, and Puppypaw looks to be in a really difficult position. Not sure he can take it, and he can't. He feels the same. Puppypaw taps out. Hut takes the first game of the best of 3. Stuff started to really heat up. Puppypaw needs to win the next game if he's going to have a chance to get into the semi-finals. Hut wins the first game on 4 legs. Stick around, guys. Game number 2 coming right up. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 2 for this best of 3, the 4th set for the quarterfinals between Hut and Puppypaw. Hut winning the first game, so Puppypaw needs to win this one to stay in it. He'll want to push this to a game of 3, and we shall see if he can do that. He's playing in blue on the west side of the map as the Delhi Sultanate. On the east corner of the map in red, we've got Hut playing as the Abbasid dynasty. The map is Dry Arabia, interesting matchup. Both civilizations cannot take the boar, and they rely quite heavily on the berries because it's kind of part of their bonus. We'll see how this pans out. I feel like it's a tricky one because both of them you can't leave untouched for too long because things just get out of hand. You know, with the Abbasid dynasty with their 2 town centres, fresh foodstuffs, they can really build an economy lead. But the Delhi can get quite a positional lead in terms of accessing the sacred sites an age earlier. And so it can be really quite dangerous to let the Delhi get hold of those 3 sacred sites and not punish them for doing so. Be an interesting matchup. I feel like Puppypaw obviously will need to win this one to stay in with a chance to progress to the next stage. Looking at the map, I mean, I suppose it's an interesting gen. It's a bit tricky for this goal for Puppypaw, has to be said, because it's pretty far forward and it's pretty exposed, to say the least. The secondary gold for him is relatively far out as well, whereas the gold for Hut is it's not exactly spectacular, but it is quite kind of sideways facing, so kind of a couple of walls here to the edges of the map would secure that position for him, that's for sure. Going up with the House of Wisdom, as you'd expect with the Abbasid dynasty, well, they have to, that's their main landmark. Everything that they age up with goes through the House of Wisdom. That will be coming up relatively soon. Expecting the fresh foodstuffs from that. And as we can see, all the technologies have been researched or starting to be researched by Puppypaw, completely free for the Delhi Sultanate. Alright, so because this is the last set, guys, tomorrow I will be releasing the video for the semi-finals, or at least I aim to anyway. And as we know already, it's going to be 3DB versus the Mista, and it's going to be Beastyqt versus either Hut or Puppypaw, depends who wins this best of 3. So yet to be determined, that one. There's going to be some really good semi-finals. 3DB versus the Mista, and then Beastyqt versus either Puppypaw or Hut. Be certainly interesting. Hut looking to like kind of solidify his positions here. I think this is probably the furthest he's progressed in a tournament like this, and I mean, there's no surprise in that. But it's just about time that he's managed to do it. So we shall see if he gets through Puppypaw, though. That's a tough ask, of course. Puppypaw actually winning the grand final last weekend. Okay, Puppypaw going up with the Dome of the Faith. No real surprises there. And as we can see, Hut going up with the Economic Wing. Again, no surprises there. 2 scouts here for Hut playing as the Abbasid dynasty, looking to get those sheep in play. Going to send those sheep now back to the town centre. Quite a few sheep there, actually. Looks like it was only just 1 scout, I believe, for Puppypaw. No, it's 2. It's 2. Everyone going 2, as you can see, is a really big trend here. I feel like this is the new emerging meta, going for 2 scouts. Not only does it offer very good vision, it really offers a strong possibility of getting a lot of sheep, which is beneficial for your economy, but also denies your opponents. Now, of course, with the Delhi and the Abbasid, they're going for the berries first, but still, as the game goes on, you know, you want to delay that farm transition if you can. Unless you're the English, of course, but that's a different case altogether. Alright, there is the age up for Hut. And Puppypaw gets there as well. Looking to get those upgrades. Sanctity. He's getting Piety first for the Scholars. And he's dropping down a stable for the Deadly Sultanate. Quite common that the Deadly Sultanate do that. Go for a stable opening. We shall see what the Abbasid do. Is he on stone? Yep, he's going on stone now for that second town centre, which I don't think was seen by Puppypaw, actually. Yeah, it wasn't actually seen by Puppypaw. He will see it now, though. So you'll know that the second town centre player is coming in for the Abbasid dynasty, which will kind of give the ability for Puppypaw to make a decision either to be quite aggressive. Will he actually... Yep, he's going to use efficient production to actually double produce. Not double produce, but as in produce it twice as fast. Those horsemen. Actually, is it twice as fast? It might be 1.5 actually now. I'll have to double check that, if it's to 1.5 or 2. Just drop a comment in the comment section below, guys, if you can remember. I'm not sure if they've been nerfed, if it's a recent change that it's made to 1.5. Not totally sure. Okay, villagers being pulled away from gold for Hut. Looking to get the stone that he needs to get that second town centre. Getting a barracks down as well. Hut certainly wants to get that second town centre. He's mined quite a lot of stone already. Horseman looks to be... Yeah, it looks like the horsemen are going to be sent that direction as well. No army on the field for the Abbasid dynasty at this point. 6 minutes on the clock. No production buildings either, apart from this... Well, the back's just gone down now. Spearmen going to be coming out looking to defend these villages, and we'll do a good job to do so. So Hut will get enough villagers on stone and enough stone collected. He has his resources quite exposed, has to be said. The wood line is pretty exposed here. Doesn't have enough wood for the town centre just yet. Horsemen do look to try and do some damage. But there is a spearman now protecting those villagers on stone. Plenty of stone there for Hut. For a second town centre and then some. Sending a forward villager, I think maybe to get some outposts maybe on the sacred sites. Looking to secure those positions. Yeah, blacksmith and barracks going up for Puppypaw. Of course, the blacksmith technologies are completely free. Queuing those up nice and early. Yeah, looks like the villager's going to be dropping an outpost, I suspect. A scout going there just to scout the area, see what's going on there. Second town centre going around the back near the deer, which Puppypaw will see with a couple of horsemen, but there are 2 spearmen there for Hut looking to defend that position. And yeah, I mean the town centre should safely go up. Really, might lose 1 villager, but not without casualties, that's for sure. Yeah, 1 villager does go down. I suspect she was already relatively weak. And the horsemen now back off. But that village count really will start to climb for Hut. And that'll be putting him in a good position. But Puppypaw... Sorry, rather, yeah, the Hut will be getting a double production of villagers. 2 for the price of 1. But Puppypaw will need to put some aggression, I suspect, in Feud Age. You won't want to let that boom up happen for free. Yeah, Hut looking to get the outpost there, wants to deny the sacred sites, but Horseman there on hand does kill the villager. That's pretty expensive for Hut, actually. To send the villager all that way and then lose it. Scout looking to try and do some damage against the Horseman, not going to happen. And now the Horseman for Puppypaw will deal with this, will siege that down. I suspect Hut will delete that. There's no real way for him to get that outpost, I suspect. Although he is backing off, Spearmen are coming in play, actually. So actually, the outpost will survive for now. But we can see both town centres running for Hut. Villager count is going to start to creep up. 27 for Hut. Puppypaw at 29. Now, Hut did lose a couple of villages, so it'll take a bit of time for him to capture that back. And Scholar is on the central sacred site and the south sacred site. So the sacred sites are being now contested by Puppypaw, looking to get hold of those. Get that gold trickling, which would be very nice. Hut pretty preoccupied by this northern sacred site. And if he actually captures the sacred site before the outpost goes up, that could be pretty huge. Quite a few spearmen, though. I'm not sure Puppypaw will look to take an engagement there. He does, though. Will snipe 1 spearman. Don't forget the Scholar will heal up the horseman. So, actually, overall, this seems to be a good fight for Puppypaw. Because with good micro, Puppypaw will be able to heal up his units. He's not actually doing it. The Scholar being lazy here. But as you can see, the horseman being reduced in HP. He micros it well, heals up. Horseman stays alive. Damage output still intact. And the spearmen all down for Hut. That is a very expensive loss for Hut. Because now that outpost is not going to go up. Central sacred site has been captured by Puppypaw. Golden income already starting to trickle in. And the northern site will be taken as well. Very nicely done there. 2 sacred sites now. 3rd one coming into play. Hut is getting villagers though. But it'll take quite a long time for those villagers to pay back. Whereas the sacred sites are instant. That gold trickle coming in straight away. Now Puppypaw can build on from this. Probably can look to get a market maybe. Or we can go to the castle age. Double blacksmith. Getting those upgrades in. Another house coming down. So we can see the barracks now being doubly produced. Or with efficient production rather. Go for the spearmen. It seems. A couple of Camelot, well, Camelot coming out to join the horsemen. But as you can see, the gold income going to be very, very nice for Puppypaw. 305, 330, 350, 370 gold per minute. With no villagers on gold, by the way, I don't believe. Actually, no, I take that back. That wasn't correct. 4 villagers on gold, so yeah, it's a decent number of gold villagers. Despite having 3 sacred sites. And Hut not on gold at all, so Castle Age isn't going to be on the cards for Hut anytime soon. I suspect he's going to look to pressure this in the feudal age. But army here, very, very nice for Puppypaw. I have to say though, in a strong position for the Abbasid dynasty because they do have the fresh foodstuffs technology. Which means he's producing villagers without any extra additional cost, and those villagers will pay for themselves as time goes on, but he lost a bit of a micro battle on that northern sacred site, which is kind of hurting. But he is pushing this back now. Puppypaw taking a terrible, well actually not too bad a fight with the spearmen involved. The hardened spearmen did great work there, and it means that Puppypaw has a good advantage there. He's actually starting to wall up with his spearmen. As you can see, they're building those palisade walls, securing the sacred sites, and that's going to secure the gold income for quite some time for Puppypaw. Maybe looking to get up to the next stage, fast castle for Puppypaw, because he does have the food almost, and more or less the gold. And there we have it. The House of Learning has been put down. Wait, Puppypaw, yeah, he has put the House of Learning, but he's still got 1.2k food. That makes no sense. Then oh, it's incomplete. Take the back. My bad. Yeah, we moved on to the right overlay. Custom resource, current resources is what we wanted. This is slowly starting to wall up, and that'll be a solid position. Now that he's going to go up to the castle age, he's got the scholars in position to pick up some relics as well. That's a very, very nice touch, because once he does get to the castle age, gets those relics, that's going to really help his position. Despite being behind on villagers, no doubt, by now. 38 villagers for Puppypaw, 45 for the hut. It means that, you know, each sacred site is effectively 2.5 villages. Well, there's actually more for the Delhi, because of Sanctity. I don't think about more, 50%, so it's probably around about close to 3. So 9 villages is by the sacred sites, and it's going to be picking up some relics now as well, I suspect. I think that scholar got sniped though, that was on that relic position. This sacred site has been contested down the south though, but the northern one is pretty secure for now. Wololo going down on the south, I think he might take it. I think Hart needs to back off here, won't be able to get out of there. He gets out of there, only just, holy smokes. Puppypaw will lose a relic now though with the monk, the scholar, unable to get out of there. Okay, now Hut pushing back now with a lot of horsemen, looking to pressurize the second sacred site, the middle one. Quite a few spearmen for Hut. Puppypaw not taking a good fight there, especially with the spearmen and the camel archers. The assisted support for the camels. Look at this. Cause, yeah, but that's actually not relevant. Actually, no, he needs the upgrade for the military for that. The horsemen now looking to reclaim that middle sacred site for Hut, deny that gold income. And as the time goes on, the villager count really will make a big difference. We heard a relic being picked up. Not entirely sure where that was. Let's just see if any relics have been brought back by the Delhi Sultanate. One has been brought back so far. Hut is a million miles away from the castle age. He's really committing to the feudal age army, as you can see. Let's take a look at the military count. 13 for Puppypaw, 18 for Hut. And he's really looking to contest those sacred sites now. Another relic might be coming in for Puppypaw, which will certainly help his cause. Second relic coming in, maybe even a third. Okay, now with Castle Age in play with Puppypaw, he can be able to get some lancers on the field. He won't be able to take this fight though, there's plenty of horsemen. The numbers certainly an advantage for Hut, looking to get some map control with the army, looking to deny the sacred sites, which will certainly help his position. And on the left side though, Puppypaw getting access to the berries, and there's a gold patch here defended by the outpost. This is a very nice expansion over on the left there. Alright, looks like that sacred site on the south is going to be decamped. The central sacred site is being decamped as we speak, but there are man-at-arms and lancers, food and gold heavy units that are quite hard to be countered by Hut in the feudal age. May need to think about getting to the castle age relatively soon, because whilst he does have the numbers, there comes a point where even just a decent number, even if reduced for Puppypaw, we have to take relatively good fights. This is not a good fight for Puppypaw, that is for sure. Hut doubling down, he's going for barracks, he's going for a very heavy feudal age play with 2 archer ranges, 3 stables, and I believe 3 barracks as well. Okay, I heard the sound of an elephant. We heard the sound of an elephant. Elephant making its way. Northern sacred site very secure. Looks like it's going to be a bit of a fight for the middle sacred site, but a lot of army here. But Lancers, as you can see with the maneuverability, going to take some horsemen out. He's not going to commit fully. He's clearly going to back off. But sooner or later, he will be able to commit fully. Horsemen are pretty fast in chasing this down though, so Puppypaw might want to just turn around and shoot because he's going to lose valuable HP otherwise. But the man-at-arms will go down. They're not fast enough, but the Lancers should be able to run away. And yep, okay, Puppypaw looking to have access to the central sacred site, getting his army focused up there now. Does still have access to the third sacred site, the bottom one. This is great work by Puppypaw, keeping hold of these sacred sites. Scholars in the mix as well. This is not a great fight for Puppypaw though, because there are a lot of spearmen there taking out the Lancers. Scholars get taken out, and the numbers here for Hut looking very, very strong. Hut looking to neutralize that sacred site, but I have to say the sacred sites have been under control of the Delhi Sultanate for quite a long time at times, and that golden income's really going to be helping. Lancers looking to do some damage. Camouflage is microing back. Spearmen taking the engagement, but not enough spearmen there. These are only at maximum going to be hardened spearmen. I didn't actually get to check it out. Puppypaw going forward with a mill there. Feels comfortable doing so because he's got the army. That's the main thing. He's got the tech advantage. Lancers, plenty of Lancers. Hut losing a lot of military. Doesn't have the quality of military. He had the numbers. The numbers have been taken down. Now Hut's struggling. He's going to need to get up to the next stage. But he doesn't have the food economy. He's got a lot of wood, floating a lot of wood. Not spending it for farms just yet. Preoccupied with what's happening on the front line. Taking a relatively good fight. There are a couple of spearmen there, but not enough. Considering there's probably going to be scholars healing these units up anytime soon. Okay, I mean, it looks like the elephant will be going down, actually. So that's quite a nice pick for Hut, that's for sure. With 3 sacred sites for Delhi. And also to accompany that, 4 relics. The gold income is going to be absolutely insane for Puppypaw, that's for sure. Yeah, 900 gold per minute. It just feels pretty rough here for Hut when you consider how much gold income's coming in there. 3 outposts, 1 with arrow slits. Puppypaw idling a lot of food economy for Hut here. Looking to transition now onto farms. Spending that wood that he had in the kitty. And he is moved to the south, or the east, yeah, the southeast corner of the map for the berries as well. Rams are on the field for Hut, looking to go for a food laser push, but it's just not enough here. There's a keep going up, and if that goes up, that's going to be looking very rough for Hut. Hut does have an economy lead though, 74 villagers to 56, so it's by no means out of this. But the thing is, it's military that wins fights and wars. It would take a bit of time for that economy count to really kind of build up to a significant advantage. And there's a big fight here now. It looks like Hut has the better advantage, but the keep probably will go up. It depends what the camouflages focus on. Will the camouflages focus on the Lancers? I take it back, the keep might not go up. There are a couple of scholars there healing up the Lancers. That could work in his favour. Villagers being microed down. This could be bad for Puppypaw because he was already quite low on villagers in comparison. Now it's even lower. The keep will not go up. Hut just continuously reinforces his army. The Lancers are still there. Could go over the way because reinforcements are coming. Each Lancer that comes into the mix makes such a big difference, and that is it. Hut taps out. He loses that fight in the middle. Hut knows his beat in this one. Hut calls it. He wants to push this to a third game by winning the first one, and it's going to go down to a decider. Don't go anywhere, guys. That decider match is coming right up. The winner of whom will face up against Beastyqt in the semi-finals. It's crunch time, game number 3 between Puppypaw and Hut, the winner of whom will go and progress to the semi-finals to face up against Beastyqt in the Road to Redbull Wololo Legacy week number 3. For Puppypaw playing in the north corner of the map in blue as the French. On the west corner of the map, playing in red, is Hut as the Holy Roman Empire. The map is Phrygian marshes, and I have to say, it depends how Hut plays this, but I feel like the French are a little bit favoured on this map. It just seems like they seem to be having a good win rate on this map, Phrygian marshes. We shall see how this one pans out. We shall see if Hut decides to play this relatively aggressively. One thing that has to be noted though, which is relatively different from a lot of the other times we've seen Phrygian marshes, we've seen this on occasion, but the gold is actually relatively like backwards. It's as in it's at the back of the base. It could be pretty well secured and safe. I mean, an outpost here, and all of a sudden this gold becomes very difficult to pressurize. Of course, the secondary gold is kind of all the way over no man's land, but that's to be expected. And this is huge because Puppypaw doesn't have such a luxury. His gold is actually relatively bad in terms of the spawning compared to Hut's at least. Or at least it feels that way, and I feel like the French here are going to have to be aggressive. I suspect that's what he'll do with 8 villagers on food and 3 villagers so far on gold. We'll see where the next one pans out and where the next villager goes to. But if it goes to gold, I suspect it's going to be going for quite a fast feudal age, which should be expected with the French, with a couple of knights coming out, the School of Cavalry. We should see a lot of sheep coming in, which is fantastic for Puppypaw. I suppose he's probably gone for two scouts, which is often the standard thing to do as the French here, bringing in those sheep. Nice number of sheep to sustain their food economy. Means that he doesn't have to expand too early, because it is about timing where you expand to all this shorefish. You don't want to do it in a time when you don't have map control. You probably want to get map control and then go for it. It can be very risky otherwise. Okay, Ark and Chapel going up for Hut, making use of that great economic landmark. Let's take a look at his perspective. He doesn't quite, I don't know if that's a bug, but he doesn't quite see much of the map just yet. He probably knows where his opponent is, but I think this is a spectator bug. It's a spectator bug. I'm sure there's gold there. Anyway, the Ark and Chapel's going up in a very nice spot. Covers the gold, covers the wood, covers the sheep. What more could you want from the Ark and Chapel? Not much more. And Hut has his fair share of sheep as well. The winner takes all effectively in this best of 3, this last game of the best of 3. Will progress to play against the good old Beastyqt in the semi-finals. School of Cavalry coming up with 4 villagers. Looks like Puppypaw will get to the next stage just slightly earlier. Going for the berries now, the mill. Probably need to put an outpost there to secure that position if he wants to do that. I mean, he's probably putting the mill there preemptively for wheelbarrow in any case, maybe. We shall see, because he's got plenty of sheep to go back to. If he so needs to, which I suspect he will with the School of Cavalry fast approaching to be built. And I'm sure a couple of knights will be popping out of that anytime soon. Yeah, villager goes back to sheep, as we'd expect. Prelate getting ready to garrison inside the Ark and Chapel once the feudal age kicks in for the Holy Roman Empire. And yeah, it was a fantastic day of casting games. I've really enjoyed today. A lot of the quarterfinal matchups been interesting to watch. Hope you guys have enjoyed the casted games. Yeah, I mean, I may have mentioned it before, but I am kind of looking to become a professional esports caster. That'd be fantastic. That's the dream. And certainly looking to improve. So if you guys have feedback, please do let me know. That's the only way I can know what's kind of working, what's not working quite so well. And yeah, that's the main aim anyway. And also just having fun with this. There's certainly lots to be learned from watching these professional players play. That's for sure. So we should hopefully be seeing some improvements in our own gameplay as well. Picking a few things up. Scouts looking to harass here for Puppypaw against Hut on the gold mine there. Alright, not a lot else going on. Knights will be coming out very, very soon for the old Puppypaw. And he's actually forward, you know, getting the waypoint forward, going for the berries area. There's no villagers there, but barracks is coming out for defense by 3 villagers, 2-3 villagers being building that. Looks like a second town center is on the cards for Hut. Quite heavy on stone. Probably wants to get a town center out there if he can. Maybe defend with spears until he can get that second town center. It has been pushed off gold. So that will stop him from getting man-at-arms. Archery range coming out as well for Puppypaw. Going for the old knight archery range play. We've seen that time and time again for the French. Certainly a very strong army composition, knights and archers. And that kind of is consistent throughout the Age of Empires games, throughout the franchise. Knights and archers are a very common sort of team game composition in 1v1s for Age of Empires 2, and even single player can often work quite well. Of course, today we are casting games for Age of Empires 4. Okay, barracks has been built. Spearmen are on the way. Hut almost has enough stone. He has enough stone now. He's going to move out. Almost has enough wood for that second town centre. Now, I think if you're Puppypaw, I feel like a feudal all-in, a feudal age full aggression could work really, really nicely in his favour, because it just feels like often the 2 town centres opening can be punished quite hard. As we can see, look, same we saw in the last quarterfinals between, I think it was Kasva and Beastyqt. Kasva's second town centre was completely punished. And it just seems like the same thing is happening again. We're getting deja vu. Knight's going to look to secure this position, deny the outpost. These villagers, you know, they're not doing anything. They're completely idle at this point. It's not a good position for Hut to be in, having all these idle villagers. Hut and Puppypaw more than happy to just hang around here, doesn't need to necessarily engage with the knights because obviously he's got mobility here. Maybe even snipe another villager and then pull away from there. That's like what he was going to do. He needs to be careful not to get surrounded though. He's going to lose a knight there. That was probably not intended. And there is a blue villager there. Holy smokes, that was actually a villager for Puppypaw. Maybe looking to do some outpost rushing. But yep, 5 idle villagers here by 1 knight. Definitely worth it. Scout is looking to do some damage. That's not going to work. Just a miss there. And a lot of idle time, guys. A lot of idle time caused. But the second town center is likely to go up now. But don't forget that Puppypaw will be ahead on villagers. 28 villagers so far, 24 for Hut. Not only because he's lost villagers, Hut, but mostly because of the town center working faster for the French. And now he's going to go towards the gold again. Again, denying that gold vein with 1 knight is such a key bit of the game for the French. Their gameplay and feudal age so strong, being able to deny resources like this. And wood now, idle time caused left, right, and center. He's already behind on villagers, and now he's going to be behind on resource gathering. Although maybe not necessarily because of the Ark and Chapel and how crazy of an eco boost that is. He is back on gold now. Knight just chilling out there in the corner, looking for his next attempt to pounce. And Knight's wrapping around. He's going to pick up another villager there. Another villager goes down there. The town center will go up likely, but not without losses. Doesn't lose another villager though. He manages to save them. Knights will back off. Might lose one of them. Yeah, we'll lose one of them. The other one survives just about, and may be able to heal up with some chivalry if that's what he decides to do. And that is exactly what he's deciding to do. Puppypaw looking to get some chivalry and getting on stone. Maybe for arrow slits, only 2 villagers on stone, so it doesn't look like he's looking to get a second town center anytime soon. Yep, that's exactly what he's doing. Going to put an outpost on that area there. Looking to get some map control for himself. I think he loses another knight rather sloppily. Alright, the knight might be looking to snipe the spearman, backs off, can't really take that fight to be honest, wouldn't be a cost-effective trade. Especially with being relatively low on health as well. Alrighty. Puppypaw just keeping his army active, surrounding that town centre. Doesn't want to leave that out of his sight because he will want to do some damage again, kind of keeping the villagers idle there. Getting some arrow fire to the knights, but with chivalry coming in, it won't be too much of a problem. That will be healing up right nicely. And looks like a second town center will be going down for Puppypaw relatively soon, or it could be a keep. I mean, there's quite a few villagers on there. 8 could be either. Probably a second town center, all things considered, because he hasn't been able to push maybe the second town center as hard as he would like to. 35 villagers for Puppypaw, 31 for Hut. So Hut certainly catching up, but with the second town center going up for Puppypaw relatively soon, that'll switch the balance of things for sure. An outpost is there with Arislitz now, looking to put some pressure on. That's a staging ground for him to attack. Going to try and deny the outpost, which might just happen with the archers there. A lot of spearmen, but the archers should be able to micro that down. The outpost will go up, which means them being garrisoned with the spearmen now means that the archers do need to be pushed back by Puppypaw. This is offering some map control a little bit around this town centre for Hut. Certainly will be what he would want to have. Another outpost going there for Puppypaw with 1 villager. We shall see if Hut reacts to that, looks to snipe that or not. Villagers on stone though, collected enough stone for what I thought he had enough stone. Hold on a minute. Hang on a minute. Yeah, okay, he's already got another town centre. Getting enough stone. He's keeping villagers on stone though. Oh no, he's moving back. Okay, he's moving back to food. I just got cautious there. He actually collected 200 stone extra. Probably for the arrow slits, to be fair, for the outposts that are going up right now. Oh, okay, so we see a lot of stables going down for Hut. Looks like he's aiming to get those horsemen out. Doesn't look like Castle Age is on the way at all anytime soon, so to be doubling down with feudal age aggression with the Holy Roman Empire and with a blistering economy here, that could work out quite well. I mean, sure, he might be behind on villagers, but don't forget, each villager, well, a lot of the villagers, at least around the gold mine, are being kind of boosted. Although the villagers on wood aren't so much falling within the Ark and Chapel anymore. But the food villagers here still are, so that's important. He might want to start doing some farming, transitioning to farms. Although having said that, they've got plenty of shorefish, so that's kind of a catch-22 here. You know, you've got plenty of shorefish to be gathered, but do you use the Ark and Chapel for farms? But then it does mean trading wood for the farms. So that will be an issue. That may come into the thought process a little bit later in the game. I think really generally actually the most cost-effective thing is going to be the shorefish at this point. Right, second town centre is being put down for Puppypaw on the shorefish and a woodline. Nicely done with the position there. And a nice thing to be mentioned about having woodline and food here is that you can balance the economy very, very quickly like that. Whereas if you have a town centre just purely on 2 shorefish, well, say you've got plenty of food, you're going to have to start moving those villagers halfway across the map to move back over to food, to wood rather. Yeah, Hart looking to defend this position here, which makes sense because this is probably going to be the focus of attack. Having said that, there are archers camped out on this gold vein, so gold might become an issue for Hart, although he's not really heavily on gold, so looking to double down on the feudal age aggression. Only 3 villagers on gold, so not really going to run out anytime soon. Got to be pushing forward with the horsemen. Looks like Puppypaw is continuing to produce military as well. He's not kind of leaving that. He's not kind of going greedy and going for fast castle behind this or anything like that. Okay, Outpost does have some fortifications now with stone. We do see a little bit of standoff here. Putt and Puppypaw looking to maybe take engagement here. This is actually a bad position for Puppypaw. It doesn't have enough. I was surprised that Hut didn't dive that because there are a lot of archers, hardly any knights. I think if you're Hut, you want to take this fight. At least until the knights arrive. Only 1 knight here, he's backing off, and the archers, this is where the archers get value. That indecision there means that a lot of HP is lost there, not huge amounts of considerations of things, but still over a little bit health. Looks like Hut is actually looking to regroup before he takes a fight. That surprised me a little bit. I mean, there is an outpost there, I suppose, but there's a lot of archers there ready for the taking, the horsemen. Instead, though, Hut looks to reinforcement, get a couple of spearmen as well. He's concerned about the knights, I suspect, so he's going for a spearman horseman army composition. And with Puppypaw's just 3 knights, not a lot, not a lot there, has to be said. Alright, with the second town centre up and running for Puppypaw, the villager count is really starting to kick off for Puppypaw because of course these 2 town centres produce faster. And I'm not entirely convinced that Hut sees this, and that's an issue because Hut may be thinking, oh well, he's just on 1 town centre at the moment. He's probably expecting a lot of army, that's why he's not going to the castle age himself. He's getting a lot of army, maybe anticipating a feudal age rush. He's actually starting to wall up this area, which is a nice touch. It's a nice strategy to have because that will offer him some protection here, protecting the villagers that are on the mill and the shorefish there. And that gives him a bit of breathing space. Looks like both players may be considering going up to the castle age, but knights are still on the menu for Puppypaw. Still going heavy on the knights, looking to build up that army. But yeah, so going to be lacking the gold to go up with the castle age, and Hut looks to be very convincingly staying around in the feudal age for quite some time. You can see he's spending all the resources he has, a heck of a lot of horsemen, a heck of a lot of spearmen. He is really doubling down on the feudal age aggression. I think Puppypaw is doing the same. This is what we love to see. We love to see feudal age aggression. That's what we're going to get. Villagers are going to be pushed off the berries. Not able to one-shot them. Does now. Probably textiles is in place for Hut, I suspect. Yeah, it is indeed. Okay, villager count 51 for Hut, 64 for Puppypaw. So the longer the game goes on, you feel Puppypaw is in a better position. Up until the game might get into Imperial Age. If that was the case, then that could be huge because the Palace of Swabia could do a lot of printing of villages to boost the villager count. But Hut is getting a triple archery range now. He is definitely he's not going castle age anytime soon. He's doubling down the feudal age, going to put some pressure, which is very different for the Holy Roman Empire. They're probably looking to try and catch Puppypaw off guard, but Puppypaw has got the stronger economy now, so this is not a bad position for Puppypaw. Having more villagers, more economy means more military, because he's not looking to go to the castle age either. Got a couple of knights there, a decent number of archers, getting some outposts on the field as well, and you just feel like this army composition, again, this army composition, you know, knights and archers versus horsemen and spears. I'd certainly would love to have the knights and archers. The ability for the archers to shoot from long range, you never really have to, you can kind of dictate the pace of the fight. Archers can kite, there's no other unit here that can really kite. In terms of, you know, the knights can always back off from the horsemen. Or even engage. It can be a bit tricky because if Hut really wants to pressure the issue, he can with the horsemen, pressure the archers, let the spearmen follow up. But it's a tricky one because now Puppypaw does have spearmen of his own, so this is not a fight that Hut can take, that is for sure. Spearmen, archers, and knights versus just horsemen and spearmen. This is a fight that Puppypaw would relish, and he gets the outpost up. Arrow slits will be coming in, and Hut looks to be in a pretty sticky situation with the dual unit army composition. He does have some archery ranges, so he's going to start producing some archers now. So it's going to come down to unit micro and general army scale. But the thing is, Puppypaw can always outproduce here. He's got the better economy, surprisingly enough, because the Archon Chapel is not doing all that much, and there aren't that many prelates on the field. So the Archon Chapel is not really getting too much value here. That economy bonus for the Holy Roman Empire not coming in clutch anymore. For Hut, he's fully walled up on the south corner of the map, or the south access point, but it looks like, now, being open on this right side, Puppypaw looks to be doubling down, looks to be getting production buildings, proxy buildings, to be able to replenish his army
as soon as he loses it, and building up quite a economy lead. Actually, it looks like Puppypaw could be considering going to the castle age. Actually, he's got the resources to do so, almost a bit more food, and he's there. Hut though, really struggling on the food, all things considered. And I think that just comes down to the economy. 81 villagers, 80 villagers to 61, quite a period of time, 20 villagers ahead. That plays a big difference. Every second that passes, that means more resources, means more military, means more map control, means more strength in the fight. Knight's looking to dive the villagers. Hut paying attention. He's got the outpost there for vision, of course. And I believe Puppypaw may have just clicked up to the next stage. He has indeed. Probably going for the Royal Institute, I suspect. Yeah, Royal Institute. We're seeing this more and more often now, rather than the Guild Hall. And that's going to give him upgrades that he can take really effective fights for Canted Saddles, naming one of them, and the Royal Bloodlines for the other, for the Knights. Gives the Imperial Age upgrades, effectively, which is incredibly strong. And Hut looking to do some damage now with his horsemen, moving forward with horsemen, spearmen and archers, but new age comes in for Puppypaw. You feel like if you're Hut, you kind of have to pressurize things. I mean, he does have a decent amount of food. He'll only need some gold to be able to get up to the next stage, which we'll see if that's what he opts to do. Or does he dive in the feudal age? You get the feeling that one big fight will change the game and will dictate who wins this set. And you can see the massive amount of upgrades. Veteran knights, canted saddles, you know, veteran archers, veteran spearmen, you name it. You've got Royal Bloodlines coming in. This is going to be fantastic for Puppypaw, and Puppypaw will easily win a fight if he pushes for one right now. And it looks like he's doing just that. Once the upgrades come in, I think Puppypaw is going to make a dash for it, and he might just take this set because Hut is behind, at least economy-wise. Don't forget, Puppypaw can replace army quicker with the better economy, and he is in Castle Age, so I don't think he'll lose the army anyway, especially with the upgrades coming in. But he has kind of taken the fight a little bit too early. The veteran upgrades aren't in. They will be coming in during the space of the fight, and that could be a big deal. He may have timed this to perfection because veteran spearman is in. Veteran archers just about to come in. No Royal Bloodlines, but he's taking an effective fight here, and Hut is losing everything. These knights are veteran Royal Knights, and there is the GG. Hut taps out. That is the game. That is the set. 2-1 to Puppypaw. Puppypaw progresses to the semi-finals to face up against Beastyqt. We've got a fantastic semi-final lineup for you guys. That will be coming up on the video tomorrow. We will be having 3DB versus the Mista, and then Beastyqt versus Puppypaw. This was a fantastic set, guys. I hope you enjoyed the casted games. I certainly loved casting the games for you guys. If you're enjoying the content, do give the video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. And if you enjoyed these casted contents, maybe consider subscribing to the channel. Maybe hitting the notification bell so that you get notified every time I upload some Age of Empires 4 casted games. Take care, and see you next time.